increasing in its scope and scale. The desire to enslave our fellow man is unfortunately intrinsic to human character. It has been with us since the beginning of time.
I've been raised on a belief system that's broken. Raised on a belief I keep my eyes open. Never question nothing that I'm told. Slave away the mistakes that I'm over. I've been raised on a belief system that's broken. Raised on a belief broken. Somehow did it all the while still smoking. Never close minded, I keep mine open. A generation just like me that's been molded. Not asleep now, we can understand the motive. Every single day we keep battling. I know it is a war for your mind and I'm trying to expose it. Unplug the TV and live for the moment. Turn the tables on them, then brace for atonement. Realize the life we're given is golden. Then you understand no government can own it. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. So quit with the bullshit. Telling me I can't have a full clip. Feinstein trying to limit my magazine. All the while pumping me full of damn medicine. Side effects that spike my adrenaline. Now I'm seeing parts of my mind that I've never been. Wanna fill you in the battle, where do I begin? A pen's my sword mightier than Leviathan. Wanna try me? You better try again. From inception and trying to get in my head. Pop culture raised me like a thoroughbred. But then I unplugged and really got the full extent. I see the picture clear now with my mind's eye. I feel like I'm Einstein. How was I blind? How is this not relative? The whole time the truth is being hidden, we've been sitting on a gold mine. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I wanna try to write about my freedoms, riding a dead horse that's beaten. I don't really think I can reach them, but I'ma try one time before I eat them up. And I used to be a heathen. Now to say that I look like Jesus, so I feel like I look like he does. But I'm surrounded by demons all day, there's gotta be a reason. Every time I turn the TV on, it's treason. Brainwashed, flicker rate programs to grieving. Only problem is you still believe in a two-party paradigm. Realize you're hypnotized and wake up. They're all wearing makeup. Fake broadcast from a beach in Jamaica. Fear engineered by the government to make you give up your rights. There's more to this life, I know. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. Like the weak don't get lost in it. There's gotta be more to life than living and dying, wishing and lying. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know. There's gotta be more to this. 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 I know.
They've got chambers of commerce. When business takes a nosedive, they take it easy. Who gets the gravy? Not you, not me. Oh, no. Well, fellas like you freeze on a breadline.
What's the answer?
Millions of us getting together. This country and its institutions belong to the people who inhabit it. When they grow weary of existing government, they have the constitutional right of amending it, or the revolutionary right to dismember and overthrow it.
I know you can get the fuck of my opinions, claims, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams at least. We can sit and shoot this shit at the bloodline. Save your passionate speech from the bloodline. I know you still
animals. Here's the artifact, cats feasting off the miserable. Invisible hand is a full animal, metaphysical. Filled to the brim, but still on hunt to starve the pitiful. Pissing on in unison, unity is beautiful. United on a sinking ship, a mutiny, a funeral. You can see the humor in this picture of the future, so I drew an eye patch on Ulysses S. Useless. Granted, it was stupid, $50 is exclusive, and it's all about the Benjamins, but Naki only proves it. Boost economy, then crash it when it suits. Money running rat races, lacing up our rented boots. What's the use? You should pick a sort of truth, then observe the signs, the sycamore, they plucked it from its roots. I speak in metaphor to keep you all amused, cause you stupid motherfuckers hear the truth and look confused. Like they federal takes money, right? And they get printed. No, that's what they did. But it's not. They're like they're their own thing, but they're not the government. But they loan it to the government. Right. And
I know you could give a fuck of my opinions of things, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams. At least we can sit and shoot this shit at the breadline. Save your passionate speech for the breadline. I know you study more and understand what money's for. You wanna educate and plead your case for Buddy Shore. We all stand in attention at the breadline. You got the podium, now preach it to the breadline.
Automatics of perpetuated negative worth. Debt creation upon birth, only destined for worse. Every cent spent apprenticeship eventually learned that the currency of pension is invested in dirt. Purposeful diversion, so you worship the purse and appease the mighty rolling off perversions of work. This perversion of earth, the same as slaves building pyramids, like tax dollars paid for drone planes killing Syrians. Don't act all upset, you blindly follow Luciferians. Deception is the tool they use to build the major staring in. Question their intentions, it's unsettling to think. Animalistic in the ground, Nebuchadnezzar would be king, but the pride of their control is that their chains will never kink. You've accepted your imprisonment, now freedom is extinct. You can lead a man to water, but he's never learned to drink. So instead prescribing medicine that simulates a sink.
I know you can give a fuck of my opinions of things, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams. At least we can sit and shoot this shit at the breadline. Save your passionate speech for the breadline. I know you study more and understand what money's for. You wanna educate and plead your case for Buddy Shore. We all stand in attention at the breadline. You got the podium, now preach it to the breadline.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
They say the ending is upon us. Don't believe the hype. You're sure to see a lot before you ever see the light. See, this is gonna be a little slower than you thought. It's obvious that you never thought at all. I pulled the curtain to the side, show you puppets on a string. See, the puppet master owns everyone that's underneath, and the only purpose is to persuade you how to think. Before you know it, you're a slave, and they labeled you a sheep. That's the same corporation putting poison in your drink. Modify the food supply to make the population shrink, and they fund the politicians that write the policies, and they write the textbook that teach about the missing link. It's lights out, they cut power to my next line. We're all doing bedtime by waiting on the bread line, staring at the clock, waiting for the deadline. If it isn't bedtime, then save your stories for the breadline. Yeah, save your stories for
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Money makes the world go round, it makes the world end. Money makes the world go round, it makes the world end.
America has been called the land of opportunity. And just to be known. Where else in the world is the great opportunity for honest work exists in such a boundless degree than America? Where else
Here
does
we
every
are.
man find a just fight for his living? Yet, my friends, I say to you that a real willingness to work has never gone unrewarded. That is for long.
Welcome back to another episode of Crypto and Chat. I am your lonely host, Seymour Mack. Yes, it is true indeed. We're gonna have to start this show without Moses. He got a little hung up at the house. Something going on with the baby. So, you know, priorities. I am excited about today's show, so please, if you are with us, share the video link wherever you can. Try to get some friends in here. We have a special guest on the show, Kevin Moore. I want to apologize for last week. We were supposed to have him on following Ken Bosak, and then the conversation with Ken just went on and on and on and on, which was awesome. We got some really good footage, some really good clips, a lot of good laughs, that's for sure. And we just kind of ran the test of time there. So Kevin agreed to join us today. So very excited to have him. He's going to be speaking about crypto in Canada. He's going to be talking about the Ken Bosak crypto tour that's going on. I'm going to allow him to, dive into that when we bring him on. We're going to bring him in like 20 minutes or so. Maybe like 15, 20 minutes or so. But what I want to do is, because there is some very exciting news in the Nexus world, and this show would not be complete without, as I adjust all knobs on the microphone stand for no apparent reason. Ridiculous. Lots of news in the Nexus world, and this show would not be complete without shilling some fucking Nexus news. We've been waiting for this moment for a very long time, and now I can announce to you, although not for the first time, only for the first time here on Crypto and Chat, that the Tritium white paper has been released. And the crowd goes wild. Very excited about the white paper being released. So I want to kind of dive into that first, and then, of course, if Moses winds up joining us, he was going to exhibit another case to further entice you into what it means to be involved with Nexus. So let's do ourselves a little favor, though, right now. Look at his empty chair. Let's turn him off for a second. Let's dive right into the old... Let's dive right into the white paper of Nexus Tritium. Let me fix my little camera situation here. I guess we won't fix our camera situation. Whoa! We're just going to have to deal with that camera situation, I guess. Or we can cut it out. Boom. How far can we go? That's about as far as we can go. All right, sorry about that. All right, the Nexus Tritium white paper has been released, and here it is on nexusearth.com. I implore you all to visit nexusearth.com for all your Nexus needs and wants. But if you've been involved with Nexus, then you have been waiting for this white paper for a very long time, and you can find it right there on their website. I shared it multiple times on my Facebook and also on the Corrected Axiom Twitter page. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them everywhere. Slack, all that. Crypto Lads is following us. Thank you, Crypto Lads. Appreciate it. The Nexus Tritium Protocol, May 29th is when it was released, and it opens up with a quotation from Confucius: "Humanity is the solid foundation of all virtues." We're not going to read through this whole white paper here, but just to show you, it's got many, many, many sections, many chapters. It's about 28, 29 pages long. I do want to focus here on this page here, just so we could see who is written by. Colin Cantrell, of course, and Dino Farinacci. With contributions, jeez Louise, by Shay, my man Shay from the Slack channel, holding it down, Jules Brian Smith, April Bungie, my homie April, Steve Lackey, and edited by Shay. So big shout out to everybody who helped out with that, especially April. Love to see that you got involved in this and you were so heavily involved. So instead of reading through this, though, breaks down the introduction, the software stack. It gives you all the information. The great thing about the Nexus community is this. You have somebody like Spade who releases a simplified version of the white paper. Now, the Tritium white paper actually is fairly easy to follow, especially comparing that to other white papers or the Nexus white paper itself. But nonetheless, my man Spade has hooked us up with the simplified version. So I want to give a big shout out to Spade. You can catch this on medium.com. Spade, he's a crypto enthusiast and owner of microcapcrypto.com. No shameless plugs here. No shame in that plug at all. The Nexus Tritium white paper, 7 layers simplified. So he focuses in on the 7 layers. That's the the software stack. As you can see here, starting with the network layer, layer 1, up to the ledger layer, register layer, operation layer, API, logical, and interface layer. We're going to break it down in the simplified version here before we bring our guest on, because I want to make sure we cover this. Thank you, Spade. Again, big shout out. So let's take a look. The Nexus Tritium white paper is unlike others I have seen in that much of the work defined in it has already been completed. And I'm not going to read this word for word, but that is something that is certainly very important to point out, that the work defined in the Tritium white paper, much of it has already been completed. So as he says here, this is not a wishful document dreamed up by an unknown crypto developers, and the imminent release of Tritium does not depend on finding and hiring an experienced and diverse team. Nexus has already been building a very diverse dev team, bringing on multiple developers, handling different portions of the coding and just really kind of handling different layers of the stack here. And it's been well known that after this white paper would be released, that we would see the Tritium wallet. And I do want to thank Stacy for pointing out the interface layer equals the Tritium wallet. So we can most certainly be ready to see a Tritium wallet upgrade very, very soon. Very soon. So very excited about that. Let's read on a little bit here. Tritium is the foundation and first update of a much larger design framework called the TAO. The Tritium white paper outlines the components by defining 7 interacting layers, which are important to additional releases in the future. It goes into some very technical details, but it is worth going through the actual white paper and understanding just how the Tritium design improves the traditional blockchain. So, Spade, although he gives it to us in layman's terms, it simplifies it so that even I can understand the Nexus white paper, the Tritium white paper, I should say. He implores you as well to go check it out on their website. So again, the 7 layers are the network, ledger, register, operation, API, logical, and the interface. So the interface layer, again, by Stacy, is the Tritium wallet. So here we go. The network layer is the 7th layer of the software stack and is where the Tritium protocol will begin addressing scalability. In a traditional blockchain, messages must be sent from one node to another in a linear fashion, and in the case of transactions, confirmed by every node on the network, creating network overhead. This is considered decentralized and is illustrated in the network topology. I knew I was going to fuck that up. Graphic below, but is actually more centralized and at risk than people realize. Let's take a look here. That's the decentralized here. So you could still see that there is a centralization within the connection of the master nodes there in the different nodes. Tritium has incorporated an optimized and efficient routing system, allowing nodes to communicate much more efficiently through the use of multicast locking groups, making Nexus truly distributed. See, topology again. Multicast gives the ability to have single data packet replicated to an entire node group by handling the distribution of the data to each of the nodes. And using Lisp gives an identity to each node on the network, allowing open and secure communication between the nodes no matter where they are or how they are connected. And of course, you need to look at the white paper to get more information on Lisp. For a layman like me, very complicated to understand. But the distributed network, as you could see in this graphic, has much more diverse connections. You're not relying on the more central nodes. Of course, it's not like a completely central system where you have one node in the middle, like a Federal Reserve banking system, and then all your satellites are branched off of that one. So all it takes to excuse me, I had a little brain fart there. All it takes to start rolling out the corruption is for that one middle centralized control to be corrupt. In a decentralized topology here that you could see in the graphic, there still is some centralization that you have to rely on, but Nexus and the Tritium wallet update will be a distributed network, and this overlay here, which they go into, is way beyond my needs. But it's very exciting stuff. The ledger layer is where the blockchain resides, eventually the Nexus 3D blockchain, and is powered by that triple L, the lower level library. It introduces signature chains to increase security and simplicity in Nexus transactions. Signature chains remove the need for a wallet.dat file by incorporating a username, password, and PIN number to be used for retrieval of private keys. The signature chain allows you to have an identity on the network, leading to personalized blockchain experiences without compromised security. So, if you could follow me, we're getting deeper and deeper into the software stack here. The register layer is made of many memory spaces stored entirely on chain, each of which can be associated with a signature chain or chains. This layer will be accessed by developers using API sets defined below to store or retrieve data on the blockchain. This is an important difference between the Tritium protocol and others running smart contracts. On Ethereum, for example, the users run a smart contract on chain and the network nodes do the processing. On Tritium, applications will be able to pull bytecode or machine code data from a register to perform a function, and the processing is done locally instead of on the network. Going deeper, the operation layer contains the code to allow developers to work with the register layer defined above. There are standardized and well-tested codes working on this layer, allowing things such as writing and reading of data from a register or the debit and credit of an account balance. It is important to limit the ability of the codes to only necessary functions, though new ones can be added as needed when agreed upon. The other codes in this layer are covered in the white paper if you are interested in reading them out. Basically, this layer also verifies data sent in from the APIs meets the formatting requirements. And the API layer is where the data requests and other commands are sent by developers. So this is an important feature. I skipped a line here. It follows standard JSON REST format, which gives developers the ability to use many options to interface with the Nexus network. This is an important feature which opens development on the Nexus chain to anyone using any programming language, rather than restricting development to specific Turing-complete languages. Using API simplifies what happens behind the scenes, so no longer does a programmer need to know how to account for everything happening under the hood. They can simply just perform a simple command. So a much easier use of the APIs. We got two more here. Skipped it. The logical layers where applications can be added to improve and simplify interfaces on the Tritium chain. For example, an application can reside on the logical layer receiving data for a contract, use an API to secure it using a signature chain, and then use another API to write the data to a register. This type of application would potentially be used by many people and developers. So rather than have everyone knowing all the fine details of calling multiple APIs to make this happen, an application on the logical layer can simplify that process. And the interface layer is defined most easily by thinking of your Nexus wallet. And this is where it gets really exciting. We're talking about howdy doody, Big Al Ross in the YouTube chat. We're talking about the Tritium wallet, which we have been patiently waiting. Personally, I've been patiently waiting since probably about September, October, August. About August of last year, September of last year. So the interface layer is defined most easily by thinking of your Nexus wallet. The Tritium protocol provides enhancements, hello now, to the old QT wallet. Provides enhancements the old QT wallet just was not able to handle. I apparently don't know how to read. For example, this is actually really difficult to be able to read publicly like this and really not fuck it up. While showing your face, so you could see how frantically your eyes are moving. For example, a feature enhancement to the blockchain will be able to be added seamlessly without requiring a wallet update. Now, if you are a user of the current Nexus QT wallet, you are inundated with pain in the ass updates, and it seems like this is going to be resolved with the Tritium wallet update. It will also allow personalized, customizable modules to run in the background. So if someone develops a weather application, for example, and you want your local forecast to show in your wallet, you can simply just add it in. And to round it out, Spade's fine article here. Again, big shout out to Spade for writing this up. The latest plan for Tritium provided by Colin Cantrell in the Nexus Slack channel has pieces related to enhanced security being released soon. And many of us are tired of hearing this soon, but it really is soon. I mean, I could feel it. I could feel the tickle down in my nether regions that we will see a Tritium. It's a Tritium tickle. Probably inappropriate to say down in my nether regions, but regardless. Let's see. Release soon, followed by additional updates as they are tested and ready to move to production. Nexus fans and the community have been waiting for a long time, to say the least, Spade, for this update. And from everything I have seen in the white paper, it has been worth the wait. When all of Tritium features outlined in the white paper are released, it will be the most advanced and developer-friendly chain in the motherfucking world, addressing many of the issues traditional chains are facing and providing the opportunity for blockchain development using any programming motherfucking language, bitches. So no longer are you confined to the pigeonhole, the tunnel vision of your hieroglyphics. You will be able to use this system, this blockchain, this fabulous, fabulous Nexus blockchain with all sorts of languages. You're not going to be limited to only certain languages as far as developers go. So very exciting news for them. Soon, Moon, yes, sir. We are certainly going soon. Fucking Moon. Look at that, Moses. You ain't even here, broses. Said like a boss. Yo, Bonnie, what's up? Let's give some shout outs. We got Big Al Ross. Howdy doody. We got Stacy Dale. Hey, Stacy, I've been meaning to extend an invitation. If you want to come on the show, give some of your technical analysis. We should set that up maybe for next Friday. And we're definitely going to be giving a big ass shout out to my boy Mike Salvi in the in house. This is big news with the Tritium white paper being released. And if you hold Nexus, then you are very, very excited about it. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to be bringing in my special guest, Kevin Moore. So, Kevin, if you're watching, hang tight. Keep your Skype on ready. Get those earbuds ready. Very exciting stuff. Now, it wouldn't be complete here if we didn't look at the chart to see what the fuck we was dealing with, son. So let's take a look. Nexus was gracing the fine front pages of Bittrex, if you still use Bittrex. I'm going to use Bittrex just because I had placed some channel lines on here, I want to say a day or two ago, and I just want to see how it performed. It literally did not follow the channel that I put. But the channel, nonetheless, will be achieved. There's no doubt about it. Let's zoom out a little bit here. We're looking at currently $2.35 if you're looking at USD fiat. When the white paper, sir, the white paper already was released, my brother. Here it is on nexusearth.com. You can download the white paper. But it was released on May 29th, the Tritium Protocol. So check that out. But I also just read from Spade released here on medium.com. Check us out. I shared that link on our Corrected Axiom Twitter page and probably on our Facebook page. Oh, where we at? Very, very exciting news. So leading up to the Tritium release, and the news was, this is the thing about the way Nexus operates. They don't build off of hype. So if you're a true hodler of Nexus, then you believe. You're a believer. You're a true believer in what the project stands for and what the development team stands for, the founding team stands for, the original founding team, the current, team. What they all stand for here is it's much of a freedom-focused blockchain apparatus, if you will. So if you are new to Nexus, if you're just learning about Nexus, go to nexusearth.com, read up. I definitely suggest you find a way to purchase some Nexus. Still working on getting Nexus onto Binance, I'm sure. Ken Bosak on last week, he said, hey, why don't we get it on the Ledger Nano S? I'm pretty sure he meant the Ledger. I don't know if he meant Open Ledger or if he meant Ledger Nano. But why aren't we on that hardware wallet if it's so easy to get the coding done and to get that happening, somebody like Ken Bosak, who has a very large following, who is a huge supporter of the Nexus project. He just doesn't hold any Nexus because he has certain limitations and guidelines and principles with holding his different cryptos. And one of them is that it's got to be available on either a decentralized type of exchange or a hardware wallet. So Nexus, let's get this shit in order, man. Let's pass this information back to the team. Colin, my main man, we actually need to reach out and see if we can get Colin back on the show. Very, very exciting shit. But, we need people like Ken on our team. We need those kind of people out there promoting for us because they are the ones that are going to be just excelling and rippling out the excitement as new developments come along with Nexus. So right now, 31,311 Satoshis on Bittrex. If we go to tradingview.com, we will see the same. I'm actually pulling this. My TradingView is actually pulling off of Bittrex, so it's literally the same exact fucking thing. But I did want to roll into some of these. Hey, Stacy, do you do any TA on TradingView? Do you post charts on there? Because if you do, I got to add you on there. So lots of very, very, look at this, mainnet in the sky, 420% possible earnings. Lots of very positive news for Nexus. 16 out of the, what do we got, 18 or more people who provided technical analysis summaries on TradingView are saying it is a buy. I would say it is a strong motherfucking buy for sure. But this is what it is, people. This is what it's about. We're about to turn that hump. We're about to go over that hump here. So cheers if you own any Nexus. If you hodl Nexus, I mine Nexus every day when this computer is not running a show. And I also stake my Nexus all the time, and I'm always looking to get more Nexus. So if you want to send me Nexus, I will provide you my Nexus wallet. Let's check the chat real quick, and then we're going to bring in our guest, Kevin Moore. Kevin, I want to thank you for patiently waiting. Can you get Matt Spoke from Aeon? Seems like an interesting project. Yeah, send me, do me a favor, Bonnie, if you could, message me that. Just send me a personal Facebook message. And that way I can look it up and reach out. Kevin is Ken's friend from eBay. Yeah, Kevin is Ken's friend. He was supposed to be on last week with Ken. But Ken is a ball hog. He's totally fucking obnoxious with his crypto. He even compared himself to the Jehovah's Witness. That's the level of obnoxiousness he's at. Ion will be cool. Yeah, we could definitely do that. I'd like to, and I appreciate you guys kind of putting those ideas out there. Send those ideas over to us. You could email us, correct@axiom.com. Reach out to us on YouTube. Send us a message. Send us a comment. Send us a message on our Facebook or our Twitter. All that's correct@axiom.com. If you have any ideas, people, projects that you'd like us to research and report on and kind of, peruse that information with you, we could do that. If you know anybody who wants to be a guest or you want to see on as a guest, just send it over and we will definitely take a look. I will warn you that I am here's the one thing that we were always missing was kind of like that booking agent. Even back when we were making the music on a regular basis, it was always like a booking agent that we were missing. So when you're trying to create, you're just trying to be creative like we're trying to do here. It's hard to focus on just being creative and kind of just have a conversation and do the show and also, be the booking agent, get all the guests on, do all the research. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And Moses has a brand new baby. I got a 4-year-old. I got a full-time job. He's got a full-time job. So it's very hard to do. So we're certainly looking for new sponsors for the show to be able to help provide us with some sort of some extra outlets and possibly some sort of funding arrangements to get a website going and get some better outreach going. And also looking for possibly somebody to help with booking guests on. So if you are that person, reach out to us. That'd be fucking awesome. All right, so I want to reach out to I'm going to call my guest here on the Skypes, and we're going to bring him in like Flynn. My man Kevin Moore, what's going on? How you doing, sir? Thank you for kind of waiting out for us. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just going to get my camera going here, but guys.
Yeah, no problem. You know what? Last week I had an issue
Can you
with getting the Skype going,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was because I opened the Skype before I opened the broadcasting software. But it may
Okay.
just not be functioning properly. So what I could do is no, I'm not getting any video from you.
Okay, so I can see myself, but let me just see here. Huh. Oh, here we go. Press that button. It's that button, right?
Hit that button, whatever that button is. Oh wait, I think I
Is
got
it-
you coming in. Hold on a second. Let me refresh my Skype. Let's see if we got you. You know what? We're going to have to do you like we did Ken. I'm going to have to bring you into the big screen. All right, there you are. There I am.
Okay.
Kevin, thank you for waiting
Cool.
on the sidelines. And again, I apologize for last week. You know how Ken rolls, man. That guy, once he gets going, it's hard to stop him.
Well, I think we're all kind of that way. I was watching your, 30-minute intro there, and it took 35 minutes. So,
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Well, when we get rolling with this stuff, I understand because I'm very passionate about it as well. So, when we get on a little bit of a tangent, it's kind of cool that, all these people that are networking through these live streams and making content, they're all in the crypto space, but they're all in different spaces in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring all of it together, and it's kind of a wealth of knowledge, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, in this crypto space, I mean, I've only been in since last June about. And but
Right.
you just have people coming in from all walks of life, all parts of the world, different races, colors, creeds. Now, I will say it is very heavy on the male population, but there are plenty of women into crypto. I think just more, it's just, just in the technical fields, you tend to have more men in those fields. So I think that's kind of where we're at right now until we see mass adoption where you're using crypto as payments for everything. If you see something drastic like the banking systems actually fail and, Bitcoin and cryptos are used as a replacement for that, then you're going to start seeing everybody involved because there'll be no choice, right?
Right.
But, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. Why don't we kind of give a little backstory on Kevin Moore and how you got into crypto? When did you first find out about crypto and Bitcoin?
So I first found out about Bitcoin when I was actually working on a construction site. I work with my father in the building business. That's my career. And it was early on when I returned back with them. One of the laborers had mentioned that he wanted to devote his computing power and buy more computers to mine Bitcoin. And he was telling us about it, just like I would tell somebody, like, it's digital currency. That he wanted to devote his computing power and buy more computers to mine Bitcoin. On a construction site midday, and he was like,
"Excuse me, I'm sorry about that." Go ahead.
Okay, no problem.
Go ahead.
On a construction site midday, you're just like, yeah, whatever. I have cash in my pocket. I don't need this.
Yeah.
Or actually, I was interested in from the tech perspective because I was always into tech. I've always been into technology. But we never sat down and we never had that conversation where I started asking the questions and digging into it.
Mm-hmm.
So then June 2017 hits, which wasn't be a year now, right?
Yep.
So a year ago, a friend of mine in California, his name's Diggy. We call him Crypto Diggy in the space. Anyways, he gave me a call and he said, "Kevin, you got to get into this Bitcoin peer-to-peer currency, all this, that, and the other." He's like, "It's going up in price. I've invested this much and it's went up.
Mm-hmm.
I've made this much percent, yada yada yada." So I just sometimes it takes 2 and 3 times for somebody to be approached about it for them to just be like, "Well, I keep hearing about it and now I want to know more about it." So he would call me, and then he called me actually a couple months later, and he told me how much he's made, and I was like, holy shit. So then in October, he sent me $1 to a Jack's wallet at the time. I used Jack's wallet. Was the first wallet I ever used. Now I use an Edge wallet. Anyways, and when I watched that dollar turn to like $1.20 within like 2 or 3 days, I was like, holy shit, these are real gains here. This is like serious stuff. So I continued to just watch that dollar for about a month. I know the story's getting a bit dry, but it's going to get good here. It's when I meet Ken Bozak. Everybody wants to know how I met Ken Bozak, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. No, it's part of the story, right? So, long story short, come mid-November, when things started to like really bull run, I bought a bit of crypto and it did well, and I bought more and it did more well, and then I got it onto Binance and I started trading, and I can honestly compare it to almost like call it gambling. You're like, oh my god, I took my real money, turned it into this digital money, and then now I'm getting more and more and more. You're going to sleep and making 30% gains on these altcoins. So kind of pulled me in, and then once December hit and everything started dropping, it was like, what's going on here? Isn't it all rainbows and sunshines? Because I had never been in. I didn't know what the hell it was. I really was blind. Prior to the dip, I booked to go to the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference in Dallas, which was February 14th to the 16th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days prior to that, I had linked up with Ken Bozak because a friend of mine up here in the small town that I live in followed him on Facebook, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're going to go to the same show that Ken's going to. Maybe you'll get a chance to smoke some weed with him or something." And I'm like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah, sounds
I'll
good.
meet a guy."
Yeah.
So the plot kind of thickens. So I fly down. Everything goes without a hitch. I had a package shipped to me from California, so I was taken care of in that department. And it was funny when the lady gave me the package. She said, "Enjoy," and I'm just like, "Oh, I guess he didn't seal it up that good." Anyways, so as soon as Ken landed in Dallas, this is February 14th or the 13th. He put a Facebook post up, and he said, "Guys, I just landed in Dallas for the conference.
Mm-hmm.
My plans fell through. I don't have a place to stay." So he was literally like, any friends that were in the area would come and kind of see. So I had private messaged him in the background, and he messaged me back once or twice. And then I just messaged him and I said, "Dude, you can come stay with me. Just go to the hotel where the venue is." So, he posts on Facebook that he's found somebody to stay with him or for him to stay with. And as soon as he got there, we went and we started our rituals. And I said, "Ken, you're welcome to stay with me under two conditions. One, you're not a murderer. And two, I want you to pay for half of the room each night, but I want you to pay me in crypto." And he's like, "Oh my God, yes." I'm in.
Yeah, right.
So it was cool because it's at a time in the market where things are like, it was probably Bitcoin price at that point was maybe 12,000, 10,000, something like that. So it was really down from its all-time high. So I was more so just going to look for, like, what are the real answers here? Or is it just a myth? Is it just the biggest Ponzi scheme that has ever been created? So my goal at the trade show was to find out what it is for what it was, and basically come back saying run as far away from it as you can, or go in head first, because there's real opportunity here. And it was obviously with Ken Bozak being my roommate, it was the opposite. I was pulled deep into the rabbit hole, and he started talking about all these projects and these applications and these. I've talked to this guy and I know this guy and I did it, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And so I had like an amazing time, and every vendor that was there we kind of made friends with, and we would go out for break, and it was really like kind of refreshing that the people in the industry are like you. Mm-hmm. A little bit over here, a little bit different.
Are you saying like me, or like Ken?
No, like me, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ken, like you,
like both
everybody.
of us, all of us. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, and dull people, maybe we don't refer to them in these scenarios, but everybody's an individual. So, yeah. I mean, so one of the things I wanted to figure out was, like, what is my role? I'm going to make money in this. I know I'm going to. I know how to work in the tech industry. This boom is bigger than any boom I've ever seen. So what was that role going to be? So what I ended up doing is, when I got home, I bought a web domain called canadascrypto.io. And what I did with that website was just a basic teaching website that teaches people about what Bitcoin is. And yeah, I guess if you pull it up, guys, it's pretty boring, but straightforward. I mean, it's got one or two articles at the start, and then the rest is just videos. So I want it to be simple and like a step, like one of the first steps you would take in your crypto journey, learning that it's not only Bitcoin, it's just the first layer of the onion, and there's so many different applications. So, yeah, so that's what I did. So I did that so when people said, like, what are you? Who are you in the space? It was not like I build houses. They're like, well, what the fuck does that have to do with blockchain or Bitcoin or whatever? And at first I was like, you know what? I want to accept it as payment this year for someone to buy a house for me and pay me in that. And everybody's like, no, you're crazy. You're way ahead of your time. And like my father and the partner that I work with in the business, and they're of a higher rank, I guess you could say. So, and it's a marketing ploy thing too. Like I live in a town where you could yell Bitcoin and like 999 people out of 1,000 wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's really an uphill battle. So I figured the basic education was at least a start and at least a way for me to get a footing. And since then, so I had a great time with Ken in Dallas. I didn't get a chance to go to SXXW with him, but then we met up at Consensus, and it was a hoot. We had a great time. Ken is he's an interesting kid, man. Like I've spent a lot of time with him, day and night, and he is a unique individual that will do well with proper guidance. And I know with the people that are friends with him now, like myself, we're gonna make this. I want to help launch him in Canada when he comes up on the 14th. I want to have swag, like Ken Bozak swag. I want to have Ken Bozak swag. I want to do this like little meetup, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. June 14th in Toronto, Ontario, at 20 Camden Street in Toronto, and it's going to be a good time. I mean, it's me and Ken. Ken and I are going to be the MCs, and we're going to throw it back and forth, and we're going to try and put a little bit of a different spin on how they do things down here. Now, up here, where I'm from, like there is literally, if I went into the center of Toronto, within a 25-mile radius, I could probably get my hands on 25 to 30 credible blockchain businesses that are building unique projects like Scrumble, like Equibit, like Ubiquity, the list goes on, Buns, Ucash, the Blockchain Society. It's amazing.
If you had to pick one of these projects that just excites you the most, what would you say it would be?
On the links that I got there, I mean, not just because they're our title sponsor, but the Equibit Group has a really amazing platform for peer-to-peer securities on the blockchain. Basically taking care of that problem where is it an ICO? Is it a utility? Is it a security? What is its function? This is true securities. If you want to be legit, up and up, built to what they think regulations are going to be, a platform not based off ERC20. It's not another ERC20 spinoff. And it's a really great project. Founded in 2014, and they're going to have a platform where you can trade securities tokens, create your own securities tokens, and then trade on these platforms in July or August of 2018. So we want to really kind of help push these guys out there now. It's similar to some projects you might have heard of, Polymath or T0 or any of these exchanges or companies that are trying to basically say, okay, we need to call it what we're going to call it. An ICO is a security when you're trying to raise, money to fund a project. At the end of the day, if it doesn't have an actual utility other than money.
Yeah, and what's your
as we know it.
General outlook with ICOs? I mean, I don't know where you were located when Ken had to battle Big Little Midget at Consensus, but he had.
Dude, I just left him. I left him.
Horrible timing.
I was like, I'll meet you down. I was like, I'll meet you out front, and we were just gonna have a quick little toot before he headed back home, and and he didn't show up out front, and we were like, where'd he go? And then we start seeing these videos, and I'm like, whoa, that's like literally minutes after I left. And if I had been there, I would have been like, wait a minute, because you know that.
Did you know anything?
Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew what to do, even him.
Yeah.
But Ken.
Yeah.
And I actually, I'll throw this out there, and it's no disrespect to Ken and his style. At the end of the day, he's in the heat of the moment, and he's seen somebody that's used him for Ken, and for his crowd, even if it was 100 at the time. It's the principle that just burns. He's a very principle strong person, Ken Bozak.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, as I was saying, even in my opening monologue, he is a huge supporter of Nexus. I don't know if you know much about Nexus at all, but I'm a huge supporter.
I don't.
I'm like number one shiller for Nexus. Sure. This show is basically Nexus shilling hour, usually, for the most part.
Is it one of your sponsors?
Unofficially, yeah, they unofficially sponsor us. We shill the fuck out of them because we had the opportunity to go to their conference last year in Aspen. They flew us out there to perform some music at the conference, and it was just an amazing time. We got to meet Ron Paul, Jesse Ventura, fucking Max Kaiser. I mean, the list is endless. All of the Nexus core team. And we have some good friends. We've made some really good friends with some of the Nexus core team, the original founding team also. And since last year, I've been involved with Nexus, basically doing fabulous things. And, it'd be really hard for me to do it justice by trying to explain it right now. But I definitely would say when we're done here, go to nexusearth.com and we could definitely have some conversations offline about Nexus and what we found so intriguing about it. But, the whole point is, you get involved with these projects and you really kind of attach yourselves to them because you believe in what the project stands for. You believe in what the developers stand for. They're not just like, a hidden white paper where there's no actual development team. There's not, this is a real project. And when somebody like Ken, who is very passionate about what he does, everything he gets into, he's passionate about. And he gets involved and he, for lack of a better term, shills for a project like Clout. He got burned. And he, in my opinion, out of all the other people who did the same thing he did, he had the right reaction. Now, to your point where he is living in the moment and maybe it's not the best way to respond in the middle of a consensus conference. At the end of the day, you know what? People got to call them out. You know what I'm saying? When you have somebody like this guy, Sean, who's scamming people with an ICO, he raised millions of dollars, and then the fucking project disappeared. He still has the balls to go to these different conferences and promote himself as an ICO guru. He's going to help you start your own ICO.
He's an ICO promoter. He's like, if you want to fucking know how to scam people,
exactly,
for $49.95.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah, exacll this 900 number and you could join me. It's like the Ty Lopez of fucking Bitcoin, or crypto.
I trolled his ass hard after that.
Who that?
I added him as a friend.
Yeah.
No, not Ty Lopez. Sean. I added him as a friend. I added him. Guys, you want to hear it? I added him as a friend, and he messaged me. He's like, my profile picture is pretty blunt. It's a really stupid picture of me holding a Bitcoin coin, and it's cartooned out. Yeah. So people that see it are like, what is this fucking goof over here? Yeah. Or, he's into Bitcoin because he's holding a coin, so I can relate. So he messages me, and he asked me that. And I said, no, I don't know who you are. I only know you through Ken Bozak. And I said straight up, I wasn't going to be like, can you promote my ICO or whatever. I wasn't totally trolling him. Anyways, so he starts going like, well, I didn't rip anybody off. And I'm like, oh. And then I went, well, that's confusing then. Why would somebody do that in public if you didn't do anything wrong? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So we chatted and a few more messages went through, and then it was like, block gone. Kevin Moore is probably looking at my profile trying to figure out a way to discriminate me. Block. So he's not my friend anymore.
Yeah. He's not my friend anymore. Well, he's not. I can't imagine he has many friends at this point. But
there's a crew. There's a fucking crew for everything. Though he's friends with Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
It's just these people that are like everybody likes to ball a bit and be like, I got a Decred shirt on. I know the Decred. I don't know much about the Decred project, but it's a nice shirt.
Yeah.
So
looks comfortable.
And it is, and this is the sticker. So I'm branding here a bit, guys.
Oh, you put that on?
So yeah, I've been able to, like, guys. For Ken's event, I've got 1, 2. So I've got EchoBit Group as the title sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Netcoins, a BC-based ATM provider, so to speak. Turn your smartphone into an ATM. Anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Mantis Cryptos, they're based out of SoCal, but Eric over there, I let him know Ken was coming to town, and I was going to buy these Bitcoin pennies to legitimately have a cool promotion or giveaway or a little buy-in where you get these really cool pennies. I got one in my pocket, but I'm going to save it for the show. Anyways, Mantis Cryptos is great sponsor. Ubiquity, one of our silver sponsors as well. Nathan Wozniak over there. And we've had Edge, and we, unofficially, we love Dash. I mean, officially or unofficially, however you have to put that.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's anonymous anyway. It's so funny. It's like, I asked Ken, I said, Ken, who's your contact in Dash? And he says, can't tell you.
Yeah. I
And
can't
I'm like,
give you that.
What? Really? And he's like, yeah, it's kind of like a thing. Like, maybe the Dash community, they're like, you know what, you're building a community. Here's a pool of funds for you to build your community. How you have to build it. So I'm thinking Dash has a guy or two in there where he's like, guys, I'm just going to have people download Edge wallets and send them free Dash. Can you give me the money to do that? Yep. Here's $1,000. Go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did in New York City, and it was frigging amazing.
Yeah, that's
It was
awesome,
friggin'
man.
amazing.
The crypto
That's the way to
community
do it,
is
man.
well. The crypto community is a fucking community. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna keep going back to Nexus because I shill from the heart for
That's
Nexus. But it's just
Yeah.
a prime example, a personal example that I have that I can explain where the people involved in that community, not developers, I'm just saying people who are in the community who just like the project, are giving away Nexus, having different contest giveaways, or just handing this shit out, giving away small fortunes, because where it is now and where it's going to be by this time next year is crazy.
I want to show you something really cool that Mantis sent me. I got a whole bag of stuff, but I got to show you these cufflinks. Tell me if anybody likes these.
That's fresh. Are you selling
Yeah.
those cufflinks?
At the show.
Yeah.
You want them?
How do
They'll
I-
be at the show.
Yeah, I can't
Hey,
get
come
to
on up,
Canada.
Seymour. Can
I-
you come up?
I
Can you
can't
come
get
up?
into
Do you have a
Canada.
passport?
I do have a passport,
Okay.
but I'm not allowed in.
Dude, what about this pin? Like, you wouldn't be caught dead wearing a pin that would look like that,
I'll
would
wear
you?
that shit right in my beard.
I'm going to freaking get a nose ring, I
There
think.
you
What
go.
do you guys think?
Yeah, I got an
Oh,
unpaid.
earrings? Bitcoin earrings.
I got an unpaid speeding ticket from Ontario, and
You told me. I heard you talk about that and the kilometers and the mile per hour. And you're like, I don't fucking know. It said 100. It was freaking sweet doing the 100.
yeah, they was like, you know how fast you're going? I'm like, dude, I'm going 100. The sign says 100. He's like, hey, kilometers. I'm like, I'm just a stupid American, never been here before. I'm just trying to get home. And he did hook me up with not towing my car and putting me in jail, apparently. But I just never paid it. So if I want to get back in, I'm gonna have to talk to. I'm gonna have to reach out to Trudeau and see if he can get me a pardon or something like that.
So let me just do a quick. Let me just
Go ahead.
show a little quick shout out here.
Yep.
So this is Mantis Cryptos. I deal with Eric. He's got wicked products. He sent me a couple Satoris.
Okay.
I think they got 0.001 Bitcoin loaded on them, made in a Japanese company. So it's only $10 worth of Bitcoin, but they're on eBay for $160
What?
because they're limited run. And look at this.
Oh,
Here you go, Kev.
Look at
Good
you.
luck.
Look at
So
you.
he comped me this stuff for us to shill
Mm-hmm.
and to help fund Ken Bozak having a hell of a time when he comes up to Toronto. So that's what we're going to make sure he has it, and he's going to want to come back.
No, that's awesome, man. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep showing us some goodies, man. You got all sorts of goodies.
Oh,
in there.
really? Oh, man, this
Hell yeah.
is freaking. Oh, these things, I don't know what the hell they are, but they're amazing. They're like super thick.
Are those filled with chocolate?
No,
The shekel coin?
if they were, that'd be cool. But I think this might even be like gold. I don't know, man. But it's like, dude, look at this thing.
That's
It's
not real.
gold.
That's not
look
real
at how
gold.
thick it is, man.
Nah, that's
I
not
know,
real.
but it's.
You know how much that would
but
be
it's
worth
gold.
if it was real gold? Solid fucking
Come on,
gold.
Hey.
No, that's all right,
pretend
though.
It's real.
Take a bite out of that thing, man. Take a bite out of that. See
Okay.
if it's filled with chocolate.
It's real. He gave me these. They were $84,000 a piece. And, I figured I'd grab a dozen of those, too.
Just a dozen of those. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
So there's that. What else do I got here? I got the cufflinks. I got stickers, Mantis stickers.
Nice. Very nice.
You guys will like a couple of these stickers. These are like literally.
So
they're worth going through.
How's the reception been so far with the promotion of Ken coming up there?
60% sold. 60% gone.
Oh
already.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Dude, I launched it like 3 days ago.
Fantastic.
So we're gonna basically the venue. I said, well, what if we have more than? It's originally 80 people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what if we have more than 80 people? He's like, makes for more fun of an evening. So I'm just like, okay, well, I guess we'll just. He says when it gets to like 140, it starts to get crowded. So it's be kind of cool. A guy coming up from the U.S. that really, if you're not linked into these networks, you don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
But you come into it because, there's sponsors that some guy convinced to pay lots of money to bring Ken Bozak up here.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
He's famous for being unknown. But
tell
Ken
me
Bozak,
how many people out here are
friends with Satoshi. Friends of Satoshi. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Hey, going back a little bit to Ken going up there. He's going to be up there how long? About a week? A couple days?
No, he's coming up. So he flies in the morning of June 14th, which is a Thursday, into Toronto. And I'm going to pick him up, I think, around 10 a.m. And we are going to basically check into it. We got an Airbnb that I set up. I live like an hour and a half to 2 hours away, depending on traffic, from the venue. So I've been like driving back and forth like 2 to 3 times a week, trying to like network to get this and pull this all together. And it's pretty cool.
Hey, how's the Canadian government feel about crypto? What kind of steps are they taking for like regulations?
Nothing really. They're just kind of. I mean, Andreas talked to them in 2014, I believe. Everybody wants one of these, I would think, out there.
Yeah, fucking Dogecoin. What is that, a sticker?
Yeah, sticker.
Very nice.
What about this for president, guys?
Very nice. President of where? The world?
Well, he is president of the world, if you think about it, guys. He's literally like the most controversial person because now Bitcoin, I don't think Bitcoin could have done what it did with Satoshi in the picture because then it's a centralized, even though it's a community, there's like, you're the boss.
Yeah.
No, he's gone.
Do you think that's why...
Gone, so there's no fucking boss.
Do you think that's why Chris Lee takes the approach that he takes where he shovels off all his Litecoin holdings and still wants to be able to promote the project but not feel like he's shilling for his own profits, his own profitability?
Who's that? You said Chris Lee?
Christopher Lee. Charlie Lee. Excuse me. Why did I say Christopher
Charlie.
Lee? Who the fuck is Christopher
I don't know
Lee?
why you did it.
How about Stan Lee? How do you think he feels about crypto and Litecoin? No, Charlie Lee. Do you think that's why he takes the approach that he takes where he... he's still very out there in the front of his project, but he, got rid of all his holdings apparently, so that he could shamelessly chill.
I actually met Charlie Lee.
What about his brother Chris Lee? Did you meet Chris?
No, Chris wasn't there. He couldn't make it.
He couldn't make it.
But yeah, so I met Charlie Lee in Consensus. I don't know. Everybody. I mean, people could call him weird, right? Like people in the space, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just like that's how he became who he was and how he created what he created. I get it. Like it's if it were all the bankers thinking about all this stuff, it wouldn't be this way, right, guys? If there wasn't the innovators, it would just be like, guys, this is a great idea. What if we did this, guys? What if we created a monetary system that when we ran out of money, we just printed more? Oh, that's great. Yeah. So that's the fucking society that we live in, right?
It sounds like Ripple. It sounds a lot like Ripple.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hey,
anyways, I could go on
going
for-
back to one
for
person ruling the world. How do you feel about King Vare? That's Roger Vare. We call him King Vare, and that's the only way we will address
Yeah.
him here on the show. What's your opinion on King Vare and B Cash and his
I think he's
approach to his promotion scheme there?
So if you look at it like, let's compare King Vare's energy level to
Thank
Ken
you for-
Bozak's energy level.
Thank you for referring to him as King Vare. I appreciate that, and
Okay.
he does also.
Or Bitcoin Jesus. We'll do either. I'm good either way. But he has he's as passionate about Bitcoin Cash specifically as Ken Bozak is about cryptocurrency in the space. So let's face that fact, right? So now that we know that we're dealing with a passionate person here, I don't know, what is it, multiple personalities? The issue that where it's like, it's the real Bitcoin. Well, if it was the real Bitcoin, it'd be called BTC, because that's the real Bitcoin. I mean, so it's like an identity complex problem he's having right now, that he thinks that if people think Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin, so someone actually bought the coin term BTCC, which would have been Bitcoin Cash, so he can't get it now.
Yeah.
Good. Which is pretty funny.
I always like when that happens. We got Bonnie from the Facebook chat asking, can you share your experience at Consensus with us?
Oh, of course I can. But Bonnie is Bonnie the one that asked about Aeon?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, so I know the team at Aeon quite well. They're in Toronto. I've seen Kasim speak a few times. Aeon and the interoperability of the blockchains working together is obviously the future. It's basically like, we have decentralized currency on a centralized internet. We need a decentralized currency on a decentralized internet for it to be complete. And they kind of are working really hard to make that happen. And the project's amazing. So who do we need to speak to there? Matt? If I can arrange to get Matt on the show, is that what we need to do?
Sounds like that's what it needs to be. Matt Spoke from Aeon.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that or Kasim. Kasim is friggin' legit. He's one of the co-founders of the product. And so, I mean, it's very it's just, you know what, it's inspiring to see so much passion in a space. Like, everybody you meet is just so passionate. It's like, this is my chance. I've been looking for my chance my whole life. I went to school for 4 years, and I have this great degree. And with the degree, I got this other degree that says I owe like $100,000 that has interest on it. So, like, it has interest on it, and it deflates. So it's like you owe more and more and more because it's more and more and more. Anyways.
Yeah, and the only way to get rid of it is to die. That's the only way it'll go away.
Bonnie, was it Bonnie?
Yeah,
Did I
Bonnie.
screw up her name?
Yep.
Bonnie. Okay, great.
Yep.
My experience at Consensus was amazing. I had a great time. I got there. We stayed at the Lower East Side, so we took Uber rides every morning and every night. We probably, I think we took about 4 or 5 Ubers a day, going from convention to after party to room to convention. Like, we were everywhere. And every single Uber driver, we started talking about crypto. And anybody that wasn't like, basically, get out because you're a drug dealer, that would listen to us, we would convince them to get an Edge wallet, and we were giving them at least $20 in, $20. We were doing 20. So, I don't know, like I say, Ken's Dash sponsor, I don't know who he is. I just know Dash is fucking amazing. What I liked about it is, like, it's like, you download the Edge wallet, we go boom, literally like 1 second later it goes boom on the other phone. And we know that that's verification 1 of 10 that are required for it to be totally legitimized, but we all trust in the system to a certain degree, and would think that the guy giving away free Bitcoin wouldn't be giving away fraudulent free Bitcoin. Anyways, they get kind of carried away sometimes. It's like everybody does in the passionate things. So there was that. The show itself, tickets were $3,000. Let's just say I found a way to facilitate. I might get in trouble for this because it stays on air, but I was able to facilitate a way to get about 50 people in Consensus. 50. And, it was basically, it was Bitcoin Jesus. It came out of the sky, and then I just shared.
All right, let me ask you something here. I need your opinion on this. Where did the balls come from to charge $3,000 for a ticket to one of these conferences? I mean, most of these conferences are outrageous in price. Why is that? Are we only looking for the early adopters? You know, like it seems
It's
like we're trying
called
to limit the new demographic.
so it's like a supply and demand thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in Midtown Manhattan, New York, which is like the most expensive place to live in pretty much the world for the most part per square foot. And they charged $3,000 because they could, and they were greedy. They were fucking greedy. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I may get shilled and never be able to go back to a CoinDesk event because of maybe what I just said, but I don't really care.
Who gives a shit, man? Who cares? Because that approach that they take, where CoinDesk is the only people that can actually, do any kind of fucking news outreach inside the conference is outrageous, man. It's supposed to be a decentralized community, and then you centralize the media.
So my call is this: is CoinDesk a centralized piece of shit that's greedy? And I mean, you guys got a lot of people to your event. I commend you for that. It was fucking horrible. To the fact that you threw everybody in the Canadian Pavilion into the basement, and then you forgot to tell people they were down there. It took about 2 days till they had a fucking party down there. So maybe I could be the voice for those frustrated people that paid $20,000 for a booth. So it is, and I understand everybody's in this to make money, but you guys are giving the opportunity to share this networking experience and share this technology with people, and you expect $3,000. Like if you don't have $3,000, you don't deserve to learn about cryptocurrency. Ken Bozak's event in Toronto, by default, it's going to have Ken Bozak. It's going to have great businesses. It's going to be there's going to be snacks. There's going to be everything you need, and it's free. Come on down and party with us.
Very nice, and that's the way to do it, man.
So I can only thank my sponsors. We have EchoBit, we have Ubiquity, Mantis, Netcoins. These are all companies that believed in me pitching Ken. Mm-hmm. Is what it was. And I to be totally honest, I've had companies that said, I watched Ken's pin tweet and he's unprofessional. And I said, okay, like what kind of world are we living in here now? Like where you think, if you do not have that traditional professional approach, no one's going to adopt your project or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand the full. See, the problem is there's no context to that video if you don't know Ken. So you just watch it and you go, is this guy okay? Did he forgot to take his meds? Like they don't understand. You know what I mean? They just don't. So, but when you understand the backstory and you understand Ken and you understand what just happened, you're like, holy shit, that was amazing.
Yeah, if you knew what happened with Clout, you'd be cheering that fucking man on. And even the people who talk shit on Ken, like trying to get to the conference, asking for donations to get down there. The fucking thing is $3,000 to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like even those people after that have
I want to explain Ken Bozak's mentality. He doesn't like the word work anymore. It's just not something like when he hears it, it bothers him. Mm-hmm. So what he's taken an approach with crypto where it's like, I just want to talk about crypto. I just want to do you know what, guys? I just want to be me, but I got to live. So gotta live means you're going to take the donations to get you to these freaking places so you can create the content that everybody around the world is waiting to hear. Mm-hmm. And yes, and I'm going to be that guy too with Ken. Like I want to be part of his entourage, if you want to call it that. And he's basically asked me, could I have you to this event and I call you my assistant? Sure, dude. I help you out, man. We're both having fun at the end of the day, because if you think about having this many followers, think about it this way. You got, say, how many followers does he have on social media? 20,000 people, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you got? Maybe a small percentage of those people messaging you or commenting or doing this or that. When he looks at his phone, it's like blowed up every time. It's blowed up. So his mind it's hard to keep him going focused. So and we work good together because I'm like, Ken, I'll help you do this, I'll do this, and you do that. He's like, okay, bro, that's great, thanks, man. Fam, crypto fam, and
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have been in the situation to have met this kid because I'm 36 years old and I thought I was on my road to success and that nothing like this would ever come along where I could maybe take it to that next level. I'm going to run a construction business that's been in our area for 43 years, and we do a substantial amount of business. We employ 50 people in our community, and I'm going to continue doing that. It's not a fork in the road that I have to choose. It's a fork in the road I'm going to continue to pursue both.
At what point do you convince some of your employees to accept their checks in crypto?
It's an evolution. I call that an evolution. So people, there's a kid at the sites that actually does all our like air conditioners and furnaces for heat. He does them all in the new houses, and he is like head over heels into crypto, and he's taught me a lot. His name's Austin Trail.
Shout out to Austin.
Austin Trail. He's good shit. So he's young. He's 21, 22, I think, and he's showing me all this stuff, like all these charts. Like initially, like it's so. You got to admit, Seymour, when you first didn't know what Bitcoin was and that, and then people started showing you like a Binance buy sell trade chart. Like the first time you saw it, it's like, what is this? This is cool.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Like, what do I do? What do I do? And then when you get to learn how to use it all, it's just amazing. So, I don't know what the original question was, but
I think it was: are you going to start paying your people in crypto? How long before that happens?
I'd love to, but I agree. I agree in the tact that I do with people. I push till I see them kind of like start to close, and then I just pull back, and I might talk to them a week later about it, and they might have a question or two because they're like, I kind of believe Kevin, but it almost sounds like another multi-level marketing scheme that he's been involved with, which I've been involved with Juice Plus. I've been involved with ACN, which is probably popular down there for like your phone bills or cable or electricity. It's all MLM shit, and this almost feels like it is, but the buzz isn't going away because with all these MLMs, you burn out these network contacts that you have with your friends and your family, shilling a product that you're passionate about. You get excited about it, but then a few months later, it's like, what am I doing? Somebody else to talk to, and whereas this is like the worldwide topic to talk about, crypto, and then close second is marijuana and its potential growth in the industry is huge as well.
Hey, I see. I noticed you talking very freely up there, shooting off the hip with your free speech. And just to give a little sidebar ADD here, just a question I want to ask you because this is what I guess the impression that I get that free speech in Canada doesn't exist in the way that I guess we would know it here in the U.S. Is that true? I hear that a lot from more conservative type.
What does that mean though? Like is someone going to take this video off because is that what you mean? Like
no, I guess what I expected was somebody to not be so open. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it a lot, but it's just I just wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, no, I'm generally open, and I try and the people that I interact, I try and obviously treat them with respect and be friendly with them, and make a positive relationship to start, for good first impression. And it's great in the industry that I do, like construction. So I deal with each and every trade, like the guy that frames the house and the guy that drywalls the house and the guy that puts the brick on the house. I have to maintain a good relationship with all these people in order for them to work for us or they'll work for other people.
Yeah.
And so I guess you could say my approach is maybe a little different than the norm. And I'm speaking more freely about it because it is, it pulls the anarchy out of anybody that maybe even thinks they don't have it. Because, prior to Bitcoin, I wouldn't really look at like the banking system as like the one major thing that needs a restructuring. It's just like, I just know that I got to work a lot and try and make lots of money so I can live comfortably. That's all I know. So, when you get thinking about what is money, money's like a value they put on you for per hour. It's and if you get paid $20 an hour this year, next year, if you continue to get paid $20 an hour, you're making about 3% less due to inflation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Did I answer the question?
No, not at all, but that's all right. No, it's perfectly fine. We always like to inject a little bit and try to find out about, especially people we have on talking about crypto, a little bit about their politics, only because we're intrigued about it.
So politics-wise?
Yeah.
Politics-wise, I mean, like, I don't protest. Like, I don't voice my opinion in the community very much, to be totally honest with you. So when I'm doing it now with Bitcoin, people are like, "Who is this guy?" And he's talking about this crazy money. But I've got a guy that's going to be part of the the municipal government that handles, items in a town, like a municipality, and I'm like, I want to be the first Canadian town to accept cryptocurrency for income tax payments or tax payments for tax bills or something. So he says, well, we're going to have to convince the mayor. And I said, well, you and I can do it. So maybe we're going to try that out later this year.
All right. Now, let's say that becomes reality. Would you actually pay your taxes with crypto, knowing that if you paid them now and you wait 3 months, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you pay them at when crypto, whatever. Let's just say you pay it in Bitcoin. You pay your taxes when Bitcoin's very high.
I'd say today, no, I wouldn't. Like, why would I do that? Why would I take a currency that is, stable?
Yeah.
That I know I'm not going to be here, and I know I'm not going to be here. For sure I do. And that's why I would never impose it on an employee. Yes, you have to take Bitcoin as payment. But, Kevin, I can't get to it till the Friday. And what if it goes down 10% and I can't pay my rent? Too bad. Yeah. Crypto or nothing. So I got to be like, do you want to, when it becomes more mainstream, it's like, would you like to accept Dash as payment every day that you work? So every day you get paid? Or would you just like to get paid every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
If you put a little bit of incentive in there, it's like, what? You pay me every day at work? That's great.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have perfect cash flow now, right?
Yep.
And then
as you earn it, you actually receive it. So that would be nice for a change,
Like not every minute. People talk about it like, oh, every minute you get
money. At the end of the day.
Well, why would you do a transaction every minute? Like, that's inefficient. It's like, did you?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I would love that. That mentally would do something to me. I'd be like, oh yeah, just keep working, keep on working. I fucking see that shit coming.
It'd be like, I'm not going to work today. The numbers aren't going up. Shit, I gotta go to work. Like, call it the ultimate motivation tool. And at the end of the day, you've got all these like things like the fire department and the garbage and the recycling. Like, incentivize the community to actually do what the mandate is, which is to put your plastics in the plastics and the papers in the papers. And if you do that, you will get rewarded in a token. So we don't have to invest as much in our infrastructure because you're doing more of a part yourself and you're making things more efficient, right? I mean, and that's what I see. Like, so right now we look at a system where everything costs money. It's like fee. So nobody can ever get ahead. There's friggin' 5 or 6 payday loan places in Lindsay. Lindsay's a town of 20,000 people. So, and I'm not going to lie that I haven't fell victim to that. I'm not going to tell you that I am successful in my construction business and I have lots of money. That's not the case. The case is that I'm actually spending good money after bad, call it chasing this crypto dream because I know it's going to pay off. What happens if you burn the system again? Like, if it turns into crypto and I can hide it, I mean, and who knows?
Yeah, I think there's a false impression of people who are learning about crypto and they see somebody like you. Like, when did you get in again? How many years ago?
November.
So last November. Okay.
We're talking months, right?
Yeah, we're talking
months, 6
like,
months,
what,
right? 8 months, right?
Yeah.
6
so
months.
Even you're a veteran compared to these people who are just learning about it now. There's like this misconception. I get it all the time. It's like, oh, you're into Bitcoin? Oh, when'd you get in? You got in, last year? Oh, man, you must be doing really great for yourself. Like, no, I'm chasing a dream and I'm working a full-time fucking job in the meantime. You know, and when I first
Yeah.
got in, I was so excited about making those daily trades, and I thought by the end of this year I was going to be a day trader full time, and then, you know, just raising my son, going to work, started taking priority because obviously this shit is a wave, man. Leading up into the end of the year, my portfolio, everybody's portfolio was tremendous, looking fabulous. I didn't capitalize on selling at a lot of high points, and you know, I just watched
So
in
when
the
did you
past
get
few
in?
months. I got in last June.
Yeah, okay. So like the thing is now that we know that there is a potential trend in the market where, you know, if things are looking good in December, you may as well just put your assets into a safer
Yeah.
investment so the market can do what it does, and
Yep.
then you could re-enter when it's ready, right? Put it in
Absolutely.
something that's a little more stable.
Yeah, Bonnie says
I don't.
2019 there'll be many multimillionaires by now. September rally, and
Of course.
if you believe in that cycle, and especially that yearly cycle, you look back to like the last 3-4 years on a yearly chart. I mean, we're following a very similar trend as we did it last year, even. You know, and last year
So if
was
you look at
exciting.
so if you look at the trends though, like the trends, they're just these little. They're trying to show you like it's done it before. It's just not as drastic, so you haven't seen it. So they show you them. Could you imagine if how wild it went from 2016 to 2017? The same effect went from 2017 to 2018. It will be like $100,000. It's just like
Yeah,
done.
it's just inevitable, and it's like
Who
people
knows?
are
But
who
who
are
knows?
holding
Like
a half a
I have no
Bitcoin.
idea. I can't tell you that I know what makes the market move. I can't tell you that I know that. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it like. I don't know what all the steps are that make it all move. And I'll be the first to tell you in anything that I do. I know much about this, and this, but anything that I don't know, I'll tell you.
yeah.
So a lot of people try and get a persona where it's like, well, I know everything. I've been in Bitcoin for 3 years. I know
Yeah.
everything. Fuck, you don't know shit.
I've been in for 8
Right?
months, man. I'm the fucking guru, man. No, we say it all the time.
Yeah.
Look, we don't know shit, man. We're learning this space
Yeah,
with you, you know, with everybody here. We're going through this shit.
Like,
Look,
what's
man,
it
I
like?
invested in BitConnect. I invested in all these fucking scams.
Jeez,
And I
yeah.
went through the learning process of that, you know, in June,
Yeah.
July, August. And I'm
Yeah,
happy
man.
that I did it because a lot of people learned from me. They were able to avoid that bullshit because I was so vocal and open about it. Like, hey, I'm investing in this BitConnect thing, and you know, I'm not shilling to get people involved, but just hey, this is what I'm doing. Oh, guess what? I got fucked with, you know, actually BitConnect. I made my $100 back, but some of the other ones I lost like $400 in, you know, and it's good to have shows like this, even if you're not this blockchain expert and you're able to talk on a very technical level. No, most people in this chat right now and that watch this show are beginners, are noobs, are new to
I love it.
blockchain and Bitcoin, and we
I want,
try
I
to
want to be I want to help teach each and every one if I can.
exactly.
Like if there was a job where you could just be like, there was a lineup of people and one person you could talk to them for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then after that 5 minutes they were just like, I get it.
Yeah.
I believe.
If-
And then you just talk to the next person because sometimes it takes the hand holding, you know.
Yeah, if
It
there
takes
is
the
one
handholding.
if there was one lesson you could pass on to somebody just getting into Bitcoin, what was one hard lesson you had to learn in your experience that you would pass on?
So I haven't been bitten very hard, so I don't really have a lot of negative experiences other than like not selling to USDT in December or whatever. Like these are things that you learn over time, and you know, and then the controversy over what USDT is and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
that's another story altogether. But what was the question again?
Man, that was a good question. What was the question again? What would be one what would be one lesson you would pass on to a noob in
Okay.
the crypto space?
Okay, so I would just say, I would say this: whatever somebody tells you about Bitcoin, don't believe anything they said. Do your own research.
Yeah.
I literally go through like 20-minute speeches with people, and then I go, "Now, don't believe anything I just said,
Yeah.
and look up what I just said and verify it." And they were like, "What?
Yeah.
But I wanted you to sell me Bitcoin right now." No, you're not ready. You don't know enough.
Yeah.
You have to know about it a little bit. The best way to know about it is if you know somebody that has crypto, give them $1, have them send you $1 worth of crypto, and watch it for a few weeks.
Mhm.
That's it. And I did it. I got the dollar at a time when it was just ripping. So it was like, holy shit, yeah, it makes sense. Once you have it, it's like once you have it, you can actually say like, yeah, I got a bit of crypto, and you're in the game.
Yeah, you talked earlier about your dad trying to convince him, and just people like your dad looking at you getting into crypto. And where does he stand now as far as what his opinion on it is? Has it changed at all, or is he still on a naysayer?
I'd have to say, for the Bitcoin that he holds in his Edge wallet, he's not a naysayer anymore. I was able to show him the light.
Mm-hmm.
He was really intrigued in the fact that no government or no bank profits from transactions. He's like, what? You mean I can get out of the thumb of the bank?
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, at least I'm going to try that for sure.
Yeah.
But he's a very not pessimistic, but a cautious businessman. So anything like this, I was coming to him mid-December. I'm like, Dad, give me some coin, and I'll turn it into double. I'll double it for you in 3 days. Watch this. You won't believe it, Dad. You won't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, and I was doing good, and then it was like, oh shit. Then it went down to about half of what he originally gave me, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk to him about that right now.
Yeah.
So, and it is what it is. It's a learning experience. So he's felt he purchased his in a fairly substantial amount. I never like to disclose details about personal stuff, but a fairly substantial amount to me in mid-December. So
yeah,
buying it all-time high, you got more of a bitter taste in your mouth.
A little bit.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, my pops is very tech savvy, so I wanted to get him involved. I've been talking about since June. I've been talking to him about it, trying to get him involved.
And what's he say?
He was very skeptical. He still is pretty skeptical, but he's actually heading into retirement this year, so he's feeling the thumb of the man, basically. Trying to fuck him on his retirement and all sorts of shit. But I sent him a Litecoin for Christmas.
So then
at
he
Christmas.
That's stuff you gave me. It's worth half the money. I don't understand. It's no good, right?
Yeah.
Same thing happened with my wife, man. I sent her $40 for freaking Christmas. It was worth when it was worth $16. She was like, "Thanks
shitty
for
gift,
the Christmas present." Christmas present. So, I you know what? Being in the space, you're going to recommend something to somebody, and then it's not going to work out for them, and you're going to feel bad. It just happens.
Yeah, it does.
If you live by the number one rule, don't put any more money into this space that you cannot afford to lose or live without.
Yeah.
Because with the volatility of the market, it can do anything.
Yeah. So right now, my dad said he was like, "Hey man, that thing you gave me, it's only worth half of when you gave it to me." He's like, he said this to me. He goes, "I lost $150." I'm like, technically, you're up $150 still because I gave it to you. You didn't have to pay for it. But the effect is a negative effect, for somebody who...
Of course it is.
Who
I own $400, now I own $200.
Exactly.
This is the stupidest currency I've ever heard of.
Absolutely. And somebody who I'm trying to convince, hey, this is going to be the wave of the future. Trust me, he's got to hold on to it. He's not looking at it all the time. He's not spending it. He's basically going to wait until I tell him, hey, go look at that thing now and tell me how you feel. But, I've been trying to get him into mining. Do you do any mining at all, or you just do investments otherwise?
So, I'll tell you my mining experience. When I pursue things, I pursue things very relentlessly to the point where sometimes people are like, holy shit, this guy's...
Obsessive?
Obsessive, or definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I relate.
So when I got back from Dallas, I had no interest in mining at Dallas. I didn't even look at the mining equipment hardly at all. But then when I got home, I was like, wait a minute. Power in Ontario is really expensive, but power in Quebec, which is the next province over, is cheap. So I was like, yeah. So I started joining Facebook mining groups. And I started just saying, what's the cost of power in Canada? And this guy's like, 20 kilowatts and 20 cents a kilowatt hour. It's like, holy shit, that's expensive. And Quebec people will be like, 6, and I'm like, geez, that's not bad.
Wow.
This is Canadian dollars, right?
Yeah.
So it's worth, 1 cent U.S.
Yeah, it's very very similar.
And
yeah.
anyways, so I linked up with a guy, and it was legit, and he had a contact that had how many? It was the Litecoin miners, the L3s. I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had like $750,000 worth, and this guy had an opportunity to put them into commission if he could find a power source. You know what I said? I'll find the power source. So I had it all lined up, but the customer was nickel and diamond on. You pay per kilowatt hour when people it's mining co-locations almost, like a co-location.
Yeah.
So I pursued it to a point where I literally talked to lawyers about how to legally do it all and legally accept and transact in cryptocurrency, and then it just kind of fell through. So I didn't bother trying to pursue it too hard because obviously with the price of cryptocurrency, the outlook on the proof of work mining ecosystem, or even the mining ecosystem altogether, it's like, yeah, I'm mining for these coins that are worth nothing. So what's the point?
Yeah.
People in the mining industry depend on these booms in order to actually, get that little piece of the pie they're looking for, right?
Yeah. No, I've been mining just on my personal computer. Actually, the studio computer here, I just got one 1070 Ti I use to mine Nexus when I'm not doing the show. When I'm not doing the show or editing clips from the show, like tomorrow night I'll be doing, this thing is just mining Nexus, right? Just because I'm obsessed with gaining as much Nexus as possible. And I've since actually started the last week of December, so basically beginning of the year, I've mined not a lot, maybe about 100 and over 100, maybe 135 Nexus, something like that. At current prices, certainly not worth it because electric is expensive here in the States. I'm paying like fucking, oh man, I'm paying like fucking 40-something, 50-something cents a kilowatt. I mean, it's way above what you guys are paying there. Yeah, it's really, really pricey.
That's crazy.
In PA, yeah. So I've actually been considering in the next year or so going solar here as much as possible and trying to do something like that. It's an upfront cost, and you just got to hope that it'll pay off in a decent amount of time. But
finding out if mining is a viable opportunity is one of the more complicated math questions out there.
Absolutely, yeah. You ain't fucking kidding.
What about the hash rate?
Yeah.
What about the hash rate? Okay, well the hash rate goes up. Well, then you don't make as much. Okay, well what about the power? Well, if the power goes down, then it's like so many things. Like, what about the cost of the coin? Oh, the cost of the coin. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So show me a spreadsheet there's spreadsheets out there where you can punch the numbers and it basically tells you if it's profitable or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and even those spreadsheets are not very easy to navigate, man. It's like, hey, tell me what time at 8 p.m. how much per kilowatt you're fucking paying. It's just very complicated. You're right. And for people to get involved in mining is like you really have to be in it to fucking win it.
Dude, I was literally not the guy saying I knew anything about mining. I knew nothing about it. But the guy that I had, the contact that I had, he was like, no problem. I manage these mining rigs all over Toronto. We can just build what we want in a 50-foot trailer, and we drive it to wherever, and we plug it in, and it works. And I was like, cool. If you can make it, I can pull it together.
Yeah.
So, like I say, missed opportunity, probably for the better. I would have had to devote a lot of time, and to this day, I would have been definitely not. Well, actually, being a co-location host, you make the money regardless, right? They pay per kilowatt hour. So the rig we had was good, but
just
so
fell
like
through,
I say, I'm not going to pursue mining. It's too complicated for me. I'm going to leave that for the professionals. I can't do proof of stake because I don't have any money. And at the end of the day, that's my thoughts on mining.
Excellent.
What I'm focusing on is networking. I'm focusing on networking.
Yeah.
I'm focused on looking for opportunities. I've literally had offers from 2 and 3 blockchain-based companies in Toronto that are like, Kevin, we like the way you are. Can you help us on our biz dev team, business development? Because it's like everybody's like, well, how do we get it done? I'm like, well, if the object is to get from point A to B, let's just do it. Like, make a plan and run for it.
Yeah, yeah, man.
A lot of people talk a lot.
You all, that's fucking for sure. I mean, that's in all of life, but in this space especially, there seems to be an environment where people come in, newbies come in. They get so excited and they get way ahead of themselves. And like you're saying, like, you know, which is why I said I appreciate how open and honest that you are, even with just talking with me here. And this is the first time that we've gotten to actually speak to each other. But you don't have a lot of, you know, I would say. I don't know if I could say most people are like you and I in that regard, but you have a lot of people in here that see an opportunity to take advantage, and they're snakes, you know.
Well,
and they
the problem with every opportunity is there is someone trying to
an opportunist
take advantage of that opportunity without actually doing what it takes to utilize that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And so somebody said it in a panel yesterday. I was at a tech and motion panel. Polymath was on the panel. Coinberry and Exchange up here. Great panel. But the guy said, if you see a fraud and you don't call him a fraud, then you're a fraud.
Yes. And that's
or something like that. There was a...
And that's why we love Ken Bosak, man, because if he sees a fraud, he calls a fucking fraud, you know? And I was going to say it before, but I got lost in your thoughts there. But you are the yin to his yang, you know what I'm saying? You seem to be very calm and collected and able to think logically, even if it's in a situation like that, whereas I think it's a good addition
I would have
to what he's doing
been
already.
Like, dude, I might have been the guy that's like, dude, Ken, like, relax, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a confrontational, violent person, but I think we can agree to disagree and then continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
Ken and I have had probably a dozen times where it was like, no, you're fucking wrong. And I'm like, no, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And then it's like, cool, what about this? Yeah, cool, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be able to do that in a space. If you're just like a sheep where you're like, what's the next move? Ken Bozak, what's the next move? The next move is listen to what I say, don't believe a fucking word of it, and figure it out.
I like that approach.
Right?
Man.
I mean, it really is. It really is. It's like you talk all this, like, I don't know, I'm not going to, like, at our event, I'm not going to say, like, everything that you just saw tonight.
It's bullshit. Do your own research.
Was a fraud.
Yeah.
They're like, shit. They're like, at least the tickets were free. So we're going to do pizza. What do you think, pizza? Oh, classy.
Classy. Hot dogs and pizza?
No, I don't want to go too extravagant. Just the pizza.
Yeah, nice. You're getting some shout out from the Facebook chat. Chris Rice Crypto from last week in Crypto Show, Rice. Man. He's saying what's up.
Yeah, Chris and I are really trying to help Ken in a mentoring position. And with all due respect, Ken, when you do watch this, I am 36-year-old man. I've went through a lot of experiences in my life. I'm very experienced. I'm more experienced in life than you are. But the guy that is more experienced than me is a smarter and wiser man. Mm-hmm. So I always try to listen to people that are older and experienced and learn from their experience. I have very high respect for when I talk to like an elderly person, even if when they're losing. It's because they've done all this shit. They maybe it was different, but they've lived more life. It's not to say that, like, you know, because you're younger than me that you're not, like, your life isn't as good as mine, but it's just experience. I have respect for experience, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And also to that point,
I'm trying to teach.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to teach through my experiences in business and building business that Ken can still be Ken Bozak and monetize and not feel guilty because he is providing a service that if you looked at its actual value on paper would be worth millions of dollars in what you pay for that content, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Well, what I was going to add to your point was you are who you surround yourself with, right? So if you surround yourself with people who are have-nots and has-beens and just do a lot of talking but not a lot of moving and shaking, then guess what? You're going to be right there in that crowd. You have to surround yourself with successful people in order to become a successful person because that mentality is contagious. You know, you start building off of each other and you start checking each other, which is also very important, especially when you become on a friend level and a more honest business relationship level. You have to be able to check your friend or your business partner when those shitty ideas come along or those shady situations come along, somebody's got to be there to check you, and keep you in fucking reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Like
what
I'm
we need.
I'm about to do this in retaliation to what just happened. I'm about to do this, Kevin. And I'd say, well, no, that's not how to do it. Maybe do it this way. Oh, I never thought of it like that.
No,
like, it's nice
absolutely.
to be there. So, and, it was meant to be that I wasn't to be there when he bumped into Sean Kurtz.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. So that happened. That had to happen. That basically, like, I had sponsors that basically said, no, I will not sponsor your event because he doesn't have the professionalism that we're looking for. And I'm like, if you want to judge this kid by one video and that's it, then we don't really need you as a sponsor. It's not the community maybe we're looking to build. So at the end of the day, I'm looking to build a community that, what the demographic is? It's specific, very specific. Nobody fucking knows. The age, obviously gender is being pushed male, but once the girls realize they can control their own money, then
well, once they realize they can't control their man's money,
there's a lot of
they'll
boss
be out.
babes in the business too, though. There's a lot of boss babes in the business. Like,
there's no doubt about it, man. Look,
I mean,
Bonnie's a boss
Summer
babe.
Sherwood. We work with Summer.
Yeah,
we worked
fuck yeah.
with Summer Sherwood. There was a girl on the panel that was like, literally, I wouldn't want to get into a one-on-one heated discussion because she was like, she'd win.
Yeah.
But she had that aura. It wasn't by like, I don't know. It was like the whole package. It wasn't just what she looked like. It wasn't just who she was. It wasn't who she worked for. She worked for Shift Networks, SHYFT. Anyways.
Yeah.
What other questions? How far are we into this little broadcast?
We're very far. What did we start? We started about 8:30. We're over an hour so far.
Hour 45. Sweet.
Yeah, however much time you got, man, I'll keep going as long as you keep going. I don't care.
Until my wife says it's time for dinner.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Nice.
And I kind of look like a shiny guy, but it's kind of warm in here. And
hey, that's all right, man. Nobody's judging you. I see. Just looking in the chats here. I don't know how well you could see the chat on your screen.
I can't see. I can see absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's
to
too
do
small.
with the chats.
Okay.
So can you be my?
I'll be your
braille?
eyes here. Bonnie's still in the chat. Also, Chris Rice is still in the chat, which we love. But Bonnie's saying she's about to go public about what happened with Clout, and I see Chris Rice moving in for the kill here. Contact me, Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie, we got some history, girl. If you want to tell that story, you can come on this show and tell that story. Tell that story on Last Week in Crypto, wherever it is, man. That story needs to be fucking told.
Well, I'll tell you the broken telephone story I got in about 30 seconds. Sean Kurtz, Clout, Ken Bozak. I mean, he agreed to work with this platform, Clout, because it was a social media type platform where they had their own video streaming, and he wanted to be kind of the first exclusive guy. Has to do with blockchain, so he's very excited about that. But when he met the actual guy, and when the product wasn't coming out, and like the launch day was the next day, and there was no product, and he actually met the guy that was basically like one of the sleaziest used car salesmen you'd ever meet. You can almost, like, once you shake their hand, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do I have all my fingers?
Look, I met Sean in Aspen, and we did our second episode of this show from Aspen, where we actually had Max Kaiser on the show. And at the end of that show, Sean Kurtz and another individual that was working with him, who actually left after the Las Vegas thing happened, that was the vibe that we got from him. He told me about the project. He knew that we were going to do a live stream there from the conference, and he wanted in to be able to promote Clout. And that vibe that we got from him was that I just sniffed cocaine in the bathroom stall vibe, that weaselly type of vibe that we got from him. And we found out after the fact, after we had already left Aspen and the conference, and after we had him on the show to promote Clout. And honestly, Clout sounded like a fucking awesome idea, and we were really interested in it. But after the conference, some of our Nexus friends that's, had some talks with Sean Kurtz, kind of filled us in on some of the things that he was saying. You know, he was looking up at the mansions on the hill, saying, you know, after my ICO runs, I'm gonna, you know, go buy me one of these Aspen mansions. And just a few months before the Nexus conference, he was reaching out to some of these guys asking about how do I start my own coin. He was new to the space just a few months leading up to the point where he created Clout and the idea to scam people out of that money. And I don't know if that was his original idea or if that's just how it ended up, but that is the reality of what happened, you know, and that's the character this person has. And it's important to call people like that out. Look, I don't want any of my friends getting involved with somebody like that, you know?
Okay, is there a way to three-way like chat? Because I'd love to like say like me, you, and Sean have a chat.
Yeah,
I can have an amicable conversation with somebody, but
so here's the thing. After Vegas happened, where Cloud had their launch party and Ken wound up leaving, and Bitcoin Ben was there. He didn't really give a public statement, but Bonnie was the handling PR for Cloud and Sean Kurtz, and was trying to reach out to get Sean back on our show to do an interview to promote Cloud. You know, after Vegas happened, you know, Bonnie left, Ken left, Ben left. All these people started jumping ship because they knew what was happening. We reached out to Sean. I had a phone conversation with Sean right after that, and I told him, hey, look, we want to give you an opportunity, a platform to give your side of the story. You know, we're not going to just run with what we see happening because we weren't there. We weren't there firsthand. Yeah. We wanted to give him an opportunity, and he agreed to come on the show. And then he started pedaling back a little bit. He said, well, I'll come on a show, but you got to disable the chats. I don't want to have to take questions from the chats. I'm like, look, if we do it on Facebook, you can't disable the chats. But I promise we will not pull the chats into the show, into our interview. We're just going to have a conversation, just you and I and Moses.
Yeah, okay.
And, you know, let you give your side of the story because it's only fair. You know, we're not going to just run with Ken's side of the story, not knowing, you know, both sides. You know, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle, right? And he started
the truth
back.
Definitely, in that scenario, the truth is in the middle because, you know, and I'm not trying to discredit Ken's story. I'm just trying to say that, you know, it's these situations get pretty complicated, and you know, it's kind of cool that sometimes people's intuition and gut take over, and he, you know, as shitty as it is that he got involved with Clout and that it was a big scam, he had the foresight to feel the whole situation, and he just went, no, there's something wrong with this. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta yell as much as I can. Like, this is not right. I met the guy. The guy's not the guy. The guy's a different guy in real life. The project's not here. They're launching the ICO, and I don't have the platform that they promised I would have prior to the ICO, and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and you know, like I say, it's probably a broken telephone version of what really happened, Bonnie. I'm sure you know what happened. I'm curious to hear the story one day. I'm trying to hit up conferences and maintain my career, which is sometimes a struggle. Trying to do like one a month, just to keep up with things. So if we ever cross paths, I'd love to have a chat.
Yeah, and the offer still stands. You know, we would love to have Sean on to tell his side of the story because it's only fair. You know what I'm saying? And maybe at the end of that conversation, we're not swayed to his point of view at all.
Like,
you know, or maybe we
one
are.
Of the things that he said in our chat. So I'm sorry, Sean.
You're breaking up a little bit there.
He said, control global markets. One of the things that he said was that he doesn't have control of global markets. When coin was launched and it went to zero pretty quick, or whatever, like he's not the guy that's done all the trading. So, did you get that, or am I still breaking up?
You're breaking up a little bit. It seems like the signal is getting a little weak. I don't know if it's on your end or my end. Oh, you got the garage opening?
Let me fix it.
How do you fix it? I don't know. Hardwire your internet. I'm hardwired. How about you?
Is that better?
It seems to be a little better. Yeah, there we go. You're back. You're getting clearer as we go on. Beautiful.
You know what? I got rid of the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi.
On the LTE now.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, run that data package. No,
Yeah, so
continue.
my
What
wife
you were
just got
saying.
here, so I might have to go soon.
All right, yeah, that's no problem.
But I have a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
I believe the question or the topic was, just talking about giving a fair chance to hear both sides of the story, and I think it's important. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
even
really is.
even with as much as what it looks like, it could possibly, definitely fucking be. I would still have Sean on the show to give him the opportunity, a platform to speak. Now, this isn't the largest platform for him to speak. Sometimes we get
No.
2,000 views on a video. Sometimes we get 200. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just building this thing up. But at least you will know, Sean, this is me talking to you, Sean Kurtz. At least you will know that it would be a fair interview. It's not going to be a hidden attack or anything. It's going to be, we ask you questions, you answer questions, you give your information, you give your side of the story. If there's something that we feel like there's contrary evidence to, we will ask you about it. If not, then, it is what it is. I mean, that's all it is. And at the end of the day, if we're not swayed to your side of the story, then we're just not swayed to your side of the story. It's
so unfortunately in this scenario, and people may disagree, but if he is who he is, he will have all the answers for all your questions, all the right answers for your questions.
Absolutely.
And you just got to be able to know when to call a cheat.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I know the wife is home. The big boss is home.
Yeah.
Is there one more time? I want to kind of promote Ken Bozak coming up there.
Sure.
Tell us one more time as I pull up the page.
Pull up the page, bro.
About
the
meetup.
So what we're doing is my friend Ken Bozak in this space. I'm bringing him up to Toronto, and I would love to show him all the talent that we got up here in Canada. And so what we're doing is we're doing a venue event on Thursday, June 14th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 20 Camden Street in Toronto, right downtown. If you're in the area or if you want to come up for a good time and it's a good information session, then make your way up. Support Ken Bozak. I hope to launch Ken Bozak. Ken Bozak is brand. He's a brand.
No, he definitely is. He's a good guy, man. You know what? I don't care what people say about him. Ken, I like Ken, man. He's a good guy. He's a straight up fucking dude. He's young, so he's still learning. But that's why there's people like you there. So Thursday, June 14th, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Project Spaces, 20 Camden Street, Toronto, Ontario. You could hang out with Kevin Moore, who's throwing this fabulous. I guess you call it a meetup, right?
Yeah, it's a meetup.
And he's hosting Ken Bozak there, and blockchain and cryptocurrency in Canada with Ken Bozak. So big shout out to your sponsors as well. Always want to give props to the sponsors for kind of putting themselves out there.
For sure. I appreciate it. I really do. We
need that in this space more than anything. So you can go to meetup.com. Just look on Canada's Crypto's Facebook page, or hit up Kevin Moore on Facebook, or hit us up. I'll forward it to you. I'm going to share this link again after the show.
Yeah, just put it in the chat. Put a link to the chat, or I can do that right after. So no problem. I mean, if you can make it, great. If you can, I understand. We're going to have a good time with or without you. But if you want to join us, come on up.
Yeah, well, I know for certain that I will not make it just because I have some legal situations at the border to deal with. I'm going to post that in the chat right now, in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
Kevin, I appreciate you coming on. It actually was very fabulous talking to you. We never spoke before, so
it was great to meet you as well.
Yeah, come on again. Whenever you want, man. We'll set it up and we'll just talk some more. I really appreciate
maybe we'll talk either just before or just after Ken's event. So
absolutely,
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't we set up something to follow up after the event?
Let's do that.
All right, fabulous. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody.
No problem. See you later.
Bye.
All right, I want to thank Kevin Moore once again. I certainly appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on. It was a good conversation. Daryl, again, I saw you, man, in the chats asking, who the hell is this guy? Well, that there is Kevin Moore, and he's got a website he threw together Canada's crypto.io. But more importantly, he is, let me bring the page up again. He is hosting Ken Bozak in Canada for the first time at the Project Spaces. That's 20 Camden Street in Toronto, Ontario. I just shared the link in the Facebook chat. I'll also share it in the YouTube chat once I get a moment. I'm trying to multitask many things. Hey, Bonnie, I'm down to do another fucking hour. I don't give a shit. If you got Skype and you want to join in, we can have that conversation right now. But I would also like to set something up so we could, properly promote it. But if you want to, just let me know. I still got my Skype open. Hit me up at corrected Axiom, AXIOM on Skype, and I'll link you in right now. I don't even care. Big shout out again to Kevin Moore. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you again for agreeing to come on this week. And we didn't get to you last week because Ken is just a fucking superstar. You can't cut off Ken. All right, he's got that. What the fuck was the thing that he said he has? The Jehovah's Witness level of fucking obnoxiousness when it comes to crypto. But you know what? He's able to translate to people just coming into the space, and especially younger people. Ken's able to communicate with them immensely on a level. Let's close out some of these tabs. I want to again give Nexus the shout out properly deserved because we've been waiting a long time for this. The Tritium Protocol white paper has been released. Kevin, again, I implore you to go to Nexus and Earth.com and learn about Nexus, but I'm more than happy to have follow-up conversations with you and just kind of tell you why I love Nexus the way that I do. You can never have enough Nexus, and there's never a bad time to buy Nexus. Just to look at the charts, because I do want to revisit the Nexus charts, and then we'll look at some other charts also. If you guys want to look at anything specific, if you want to peruse any charts or coins, just put it in the chat, and we will certainly take that journey. I drew these channels the other day. What was that? This is 5:30. I guess it was like on the 28th or the 29th about. I drew these channel lines. Yeah, we were right about here. So I guess I did that. I guess I did that yesterday or the day before. And we're definitely fell below the channel line. Oh, God, what's up with this fucking... What the hell is up with that scrolling situation? But there's no doubt about it. Look, the previous all-time high for Nexus is about $15, $16, depending on what exchange you bought it on. We are certainly, in my humble yet not professionally knowledgeable position, we will not only see that all-time high again, regardless of what Bitcoin says or does. Even if Bitcoin only reaches $10,000, $12,000 again, doesn't hit 20, which is where it was when we saw the Nexus all-time high, we're still going to see a $15 fucking Nexus this year. Because let me tell you something. After Tritium gets released and we no longer have to deal with the current QT wallet from Nexus, there's going to be much more availability as far as holding your Nexus, especially if Tritium is a smartphone application, which from the conversations that we had with Colin, I believe he said that it would be a smartphone application as well. So you will always have your Nexus with you. And I believe they also said that there would be a possibility to stake your Nexus on your cell phone. So basically, look, you always got your phone in your pocket. You're going to be staking that baby nonstop, all right? Bonnie, yeah, if you want, come on in. Come on in. Hit me up on the Skype. Let's see if you did hit me up already. Nope, not yet. So yeah, Nexus currently we're at a $2.36 USD, 31,500 Satoshi. So we're actually climbing up a little bit. We got some positive increase here on the Nexus. Let's go back to TradingView and start looking at some of the interactive charts. Let's take my ugly mug off the fucking screen so you can see what the hell we're doing. And it's looking lovely. It's looking absolutely fucking lovely right now. Let me tell you something. You can never hold enough Nexus. Just to recap, this right here. Oh, no, this one right here. This huge spike up is leading into the conference last year. This year's Nexus conference actually will be held in Arizona, where Nexus is HQ is located at. That's where they work out of, mainly anyway. Also, Vector Space. Big shout out to Papa Cantrell, doing huge things with Vector Space. So this right here above me, right here, was leading up to the conference. I was hodling like a motherfucker right here. All through the conference here, boom, boom, boom. I just watched it fucking drop. The few months that followed, I mean, the whole entire market just took an absolute fucking shit. And something that I learned was this. Do not be so emotionally attached to a project that it stops you from profiting if the opportunity arises. I could have sold a fuckload of Nexus here at the conference, and instead I was purchasing Nexus because you can never have enough. And it's never a bad time to purchase Nexus, even in hindsight. And I definitely could have capitalized on that opportunity. When it came down to here, it came down to the point, Satoshi value anyway, where I originally bought in the first place. So I would have been able to not only capitalize on profit, but theoretically quadruple my Nexus holdings in the following dip. This spike here over to my Ralph, my left, your right, over there in the corner, was the great crypto, whatever you want to call it, of 2018. This was leading up. Remember, December, January was looking real fucking nice. And then, where were we at there? The first week of January, second week of January, we just started taking a goddamn poop. Well, guess what? We're on our way back up. Let's look at the trend on this Nexus right here. It's the inevitable fucking trend of this project. A decentralized internet, a 3D blockchain, scalable on its own blockchain, all right? It solves all the scaling issues of Bitcoin. Security with quantum computing security, quantum resistant, all right? With Lisp having that added extra layer of anonymity. There's just so many partnerships that they've already announced and that they are going to be announcing this year. A partnership with Vector Space Systems, where they're going to be launching their Cube satellites. This year, they're going to be launching satellites, unless something horrible happens. Look, man, Vector Space Systems, is the founder of Nexus, Colin Cantrell, his father, Jim Cantrell, owns Vector Space Systems, the rocket company that is going to be launching the Cube satellites into space. So obviously that's a strong relationship there. Family bonds are unbreakable in most cases. Sorry, I'm out, but I'll come on for a few. Absolutely. Hey, Bonnie, you just let me know when you want to come on. If you want to wait till next Friday, let's schedule it for Friday. I just want to kind of get ahead of Chris Rice and beat him to the punch. But, I certainly have no problem waiting till Friday. What was I saying again? Yeah, Vector Space System. Look, man, Jim Cantrell founded SpaceX with Elon Musk and broke off to do his own thing. So it's very powerful fucking relationships. All right? But let's look at some more charts because it's not the only thing in the world, is it? Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're on a downward fucking trend here as usual. Where are we at? We're at 7,484 US dollars. If you give a fuck about US dollars anymore. All I could say is the summer trend heading into the fall, if it follows last year's charts and the year before, is going to be very, very powerful opportunity for you to create wealth and financial freedom for yourself, for your family, for your friends. Okay? So if you're watching this going, what the fuck is a Bitcoin? It's the way to fucking change a goddamn life. That's what the Bitcoin is. OPM, other people's money. I like that, Daryl. Thank you for putting that in. It crashed right after the conference. Yeah, I guess you buy the news. What do they say? You buy the news, sell the rumor. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So, and what was going on with the crash? If you weren't at the conference and witnessed the most amazing, let me bring me in full screen here. And witness the most amazing conference of all fucking time, especially if you're a libertarian or an anarchist, something like that, a voluntarist. You were witnessing the most spectacular event ever produced by man. All right, we had Ron Paul, we had Max Kaiser, We had Edward G. Griffin. We had, did I say Max Kaiser? I said Max Kaiser. We had Jesse Ventura. We got him to say, I ain't got time to bleed. Although he wouldn't take a fucking picture with us. You had Judge Napolitano. You had Dennis Kucinich there. You had other individuals there that I'm not remembering right now. You had all fucking sorts of people. King Vare was there. That's right. King Vare in the flesh. Bitcoin Jesus was there, even with the briefcase, with the handcuff to the arm. The whole situation was fabulous. But if you were just looking at the charts and looking from a distance, you would think that that conference went to shit. No, let me tell you something. I saw a grown man fucking cry. All right? I'm putting you on blast, P-Dog. P-Dog cried tears of fucking joy and happiness when Ron Paul was the keynote speaker. He closed out the conference. He gave his fucking speech. There was a standing ovation. We walked outside. Moses, my partner in crime, walked outside hand in hand, basically, with Ron Paul, Dr. Paul, to a double fucking rainbow. A double rainbow. That's right. What was I calling it? The double rainbow Ron Paul incident. All right? It was the most amazing fucking time in my life. Okay, I'm getting married this year, and that's going to be, like, very fucking hard to beat that conference. And getting married is going to be absolutely fucking amazing, right? So it's like, you know, it was the most amazing thing in the world, is what I'm saying. But the fact that it crashed during the conference is that, you know, you had people who saw an opportunity to profit, and that's exactly what they did. But if you are a true believer in Nexus, believe me, you're hodling till you're fucking waddling. Let's bring you back on screen with the Yat. It crashed right after the conference. Big shout out to Daryl Yan in the fucking chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? Haven't seen you before. Let's take a look at something else that I'm very excited about is Neo. Let me give you a little war story here and a learning experience. When we had Ken Bozak on the show last week, he mentioned something about having his Neo in his Ledger Nano S wallet and using the Neon wallet. Well, I have a very small amount of Neo back when it was about $17 a Neo, I think I bought in. A very small amount. I'm certainly not holding hundreds or even dozens. I'm not even holding double digits. Okay, that's how small of a fucking amount. But this whole entire time, for about the past 5 fucking months since I've been holding it, and you would say in 5 months you haven't added any more to your fucking bag? No. Because I've had no fucking money. I'm getting married this year. I got a bachelor party to pay for. I got a honeymoon, a wedding, birthday parties, fucking anniversaries, holidays, fucking Hanukkah, Christmas, all of this shit. All right, all of these fucking holidays, all of these also these, you know, non-holidays that we have, like Valentine's Day and I'm gonna get in such fucking deep shit for saying this, Mother's Day and even Father's Day, and you know, all of these holidays created to just give a little commerce bump. Man, that shit does a fucking number when you're already paying for a wedding. It does a certain fucking number to you. But I like looking at Neo because I finally moved my Neo into a Neon wallet using my Ledger Nano, and I'm creating gas. I have a lot of gas naturally. All right, that's a sidebar conversation. But no, I'm getting gas, right? I'm staking my Neo basically right now. And so for the past 5 months, I probably could have had a couple $100 worth of fucking gas, and I don't. So learning lesson right there. Learning lesson right fucking there. So get your Neo off of the exchange. Get your Nexus off the exchange. All of your crypto. Get it off the exchange. So right now I'm in the process of moving my altcoins off of Bittrex, off of these other exchanges, and into wallets that will actually produce more of those fucking crypto. So OMG, I got to figure out how to fucking hold that in a more financially stable fucking wallet. I got a couple other things too. I got some shit that I just got to get rid of. It's about time you get rid of it. Let's take a look at Litecoin's chart. Just because I hold quite a bit of Litecoin in comparison to the rest of my portfolio, I say. And we're looking at, where we at? You know what? Let's pull it up here on the old Bittrex. Bittrex. Let's pull Litecoin up just so I can get a dollar value for reference sake. $119. Wow, looking super fucking shabby right now. Super shabby right now. The one thing I can say about the chart here, at least on Bittrex, I mean, we can go back to TradingView. Looks like we're accumulating right now, and we have very strong support level at where we're at right now. So if we fall below this point here, which is, 0.015, 0.016 essentially, we're going to have a problem. We're going to fall down to probably the next support level, which looks weekly, but somewhere around here. So 0.015 of a Bitcoin. Let's see what that means in fucking dollar value. 119 will probably be about $100. So depending on what Bitcoin does. But, hey, guess what? Just keep fucking holding because like Bonnie said, this time last year is when I got in, which, look, when I got in at the end of June. Bitcoin was only worth about $1,500. Okay, and then it fucking skyrocketed to $20,000. So if we see, like Kevin said, something similar to last year, like Bonnie said, something similar to last year, you're going to have a lot of very wealthy people on your hands. When Lambo Moon, sir. When Lambo Moon, sir. What else are we looking at? We could look at Steam. I always like looking at Steam. I hold a little bit of Steam, although I got rid of a bunch of it, only because I like the idea of the platform of Steam It and DTube and even DLive. Actually, side note, I should bring it up. I started uploading the clips that we create here from this show onto the DTube channel. That's Seymour Mac on DTube. Let's go to the channel here. And if you don't know what DTube is, Steam It is. Look, if you're a blogger or a vlogger, or you have a show like this, DTube is a YouTube type of platform, a decentralized crypto-based YouTube, essentially, where you could upload your videos and possibly make money in their crypto. So, as you can see, I'm not making any fucking money here. Not making any money at all. So look me up at Seymour Mac on DTube, on Steam It, and help propel this. This is essentially going to be the Corrected Axiom, the Crypto and Chat channel, and I'm going to upload our clips on here to DTube. And just to give you an example of what that looks like, if you're new to DTube, here we are. Let's show you. I uploaded a clip from episode 30. That was last week with Ken Bozak. We navigate the big little midget incident of 2018. And as you can see, I have a lot of tabs open, so I might be bogging my own fucking internet right now. Or DTube is just shitting its pants. Not a good look, DTube. Not a good fucking look for you. Come on. Work with me. You know what we're going to do? Let's refresh the page. Let's give it a little fingers crossed. And this is the problem with DTube, is that it just doesn't really fucking function properly. So the dev team on DTube and Steam It needs to get their fucking shit together. But check us out at Seymour Mac on DTube. All right. What else are we going to fucking do here? I mean, what else can we do here? We've journeyed together with Kevin Moore, and we talked about crypto. We talked about Canada. We talked about what it takes to be successful in this space and what it takes to be respected in this space, more importantly. And it's to be honest. And he said something, he quoted somebody else where he said, if you see a fraud and you don't call out a fraud, you are in turn a fraud. I believe that, and I agree with that. So big shout out once again to Ken Bozak for doing what you do, and I don't give a fuck what people say. King Ver, hey Bonnie, if you can get King Ver on the show, I highly fucking doubt he would agree to do an interview on this show because we've taken multiple shots at him. But again, look, Roger, we would love to give you an opportunity on this very low-level platform to say your fucking piece, man. You called out Ken Bozak, essentially, for calling out a fraud. So, in turn, does that mean that you support a fraud? I don't know. I'd like to give you an opportunity to actually talk about why it is you take the promotional approach you do to Bitcoin Cash, and why it is you take your that Vern Troyer's lifestyle. Fucking my fiance is crazy. She said she basically called Sean Kurtz Vern Troyer, or life-size Vern Troyer. But this is where we're at. I don't even know what I was saying. I kind of got sidebarred a little bit. Thank you for joining us on Crypto and Chat. As you can see, I was never actually joined by my partner in crime, Moses. Let me give you a little glimpse of his camera. Missing in action. He must have had some newborn baby things to deal with. I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank Kevin Moore for joining us once again. Check him out, canadascrypto.io, or check him out on the Canada's Crypto Facebook page. And I appreciate Kevin coming on the show, joining me. Shout out to Bonnie in the chat. And once again, Bonnie, feel free to come on the show. Hit me up, send me a message. I'll send you a message after this joint right here. And we'll set it up. We will certainly set it up. Hey, big shout out to the Last Week in Crypto Tonight show every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by Chris Rice Crypto, my man with the fucking plan. We got to get you on, Chris, and we got to get on your show. So let's set that up also. We're all about networking. One more time, big super duper fucking shout out to Nexus for releasing the Tritium white paper, the Tritium protocol. Also, extreme shout out to Spade from the Nexus community for giving the layman's version. Check him out. If you don't know about Nexus, you better fucking learn. You better fucking learn, yo. You better learn, man. Bye, Felicia. Oh, what is this? A RICO class action lawsuit has been filed against Harvey Weinstein, Miramax, Disney, and a whole load of other people. Hey, let's talk about this for a second. This is the chat portion of the show and overtime. Harvey Weinstein is actually facing some fucking charges here finally. He's in custody, brought himself in, and his lawyer had the nerve to say that Harvey Weinstein did not invent the casting couch, as if that's the fucking defense. Something else that's huge, and I'm going to put my ugly mug on screen so I could pull it up in confidence here, is an update on the Allison Mack charges. One day ago. Ooh, Allison Mack says... Oh, that was a different thing. Here, check this out. Actually, we can keep those there. Hide the ads. We're not giving them free advertisements. Sex cult or a female empowerment group, Allison Mack said, Nexium sorority was about women coming together. As Allison Mack awaits trial or a plea deal for her involvement in an alleged sex cult, federal prosecutors are likely interested in reading her new interview. You may or may not know that Allison Mack was a Smallville actress. She's about 35 years old, my age. A fucking piece of shit of a person, apparently. This winter, as part of a publication's deep dive into the self-help group Nexium, the article from New York Times Magazine, which was released on Wednesday, features interviews with many high-ranking Nexium members, including founder Keith Raniere. It's the first time in 14 years the group has granted access to a journalist. So this is certainly not... I thought she got officially charged. Allison Mack says the Nexium branding really was her idea. You know what? Let me see if I can find an article where she was actually charged. Granted bail about... That's April. Man, April. Anyway, needless to say, Looks like charges are going to be going through here if they have not already. I can't really seem to find the thing I saw yesterday. But lots of big news if you hate pedophiles. Now, these charges not officially child sex trafficking, but she is charged with sex trafficking and also, I guess, soliciting other people for sex. But the Harvey Weinstein shit, the one that I'm really fucking pissed about is Morgan Freeman, man. Come on, Morgan. Nobody's safe. Nobody is safe. Oh, check it out. My man, big shout out to Ken Bozak smoking a spliff. Probably my favorite photo of myself ever at Consensus, smoking only. Excellent. Ken Bozak, big shout out to Ken. Check him out. All right, we should probably roll this out. Hey, is this okay to show and talk about? Is this okay? She looks like a goddamn fucking monkey. We're just literally perusing my fucking Twitter feed right now. I don't follow basketball, but if you do, this might be funny to you. This is the Childish Gambino video of him doing very, very weird dances with very violent situations. All right, I guess that's it. I mean, we can't just keep fucking doing this, can we? Can we just keep doing this? Hey, Roseanne Barr was supposed to be on Joe Rogan Experience today, so I didn't see it before I got on the show, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's close our tabs out. And you know, when we close our tabs out, we're closing the show out. So I want to give a big, big shout out to Kevin Moore, Ken Bozak, Bonnie, everybody in the chats. I want to talk about or give a shout out to my partner in crime who's MIA, Moses. Maybe next week you'll decide to join us here on the show. That'd be fabulous if you did. It'd be absolutely fabulous if you did. I want to pull up something right quick because I'm going to close out. Instead of closing out with music this time, I'm going to close out with a video on our YouTube channel. Now, we've gained 1 subscriber since last week, and I appreciate the 1 subscriber. But, you know, YouTube took down our fucking channel about a year ago, a couple years ago. And then we started rebuilding the channel. So I want to close out with a video from our YouTube channel. Let me turn off this fucking music. And that's what we're going to close the show at today. So what do you want to see? Oh, you know what? We're going to revisit something funny. And I hope that you'll be able to hear it. This one. This is one of my favorite clips of Crypto and Chat. So I'm going to say thank you and peace out. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Bonnie, I'll be talking to you very soon about getting you on the show and other folks as well. Let's close out with this video right here. Peace out, everybody. I appreciate you.
Already involved in crypto, but it seems that people that are in crypto inevitably wind up starting to have very libertarian views of economics. I'm sure we've said this a million times in the past, but why do you think that is? What is it about crypto that invites libertarianism?
Well, I mean, it's economic freedom is the first thing, and providing an alternative to the system. I mean, most people realize that we're somewhat working outside the system, and if it's properly fueled, it can exist on its own. We don't need to have government intervention. We don't need to have government taxation. We don't need to have that stuff. So I think that it's a spirit of freedom throughout. You find that with many people that we talk to. Sorry, that's my dog picking up his dish.
I was about to ask, what is it about your voice that makes your dog want to do the dishes? Every time you start talking, man, that fucking thing starts going crazy.
I picture him behind the camera, holding them and like threatening Preston, like, oh, here he goes talking. Hit the pots and pans together. So, P-Dog, you've been very active lately. You've been, rolling with the High Spot 2000, 3000.
3000 now.
3000 now. That's right. He's fully evolved. What have you guys been up to? I mean, you guys should be documenting this. I think you should start wearing a GoPro. Because
talking to people and supporting candidates and hanging on to that.
Go beat that dog, man. You got permission one time.
That was awesome. He waited until he spoke.
Every time. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
man.
God.
Why is it doing that? It waits till he needs to make a really important point, and then it just starts throwing that fucking dish around. It's like, you think you're gonna make a really good point? I don't fucking think so.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, wait for. Okay,
What kind of dog is that?
a box.
Boxer.
It's a comedian. That's what it is.
He's a comedian dog.
It's a
Yeah,
fucking
pretty much.
Sorry, go ahead. What is that?
Essentially,
Hold
Mike
on.
and
What's that sound? It sounds like a horror movie.
oh, that's my dog. That's my other.
Is your dog
Dog snoring.
snoring?
Yep. That's
Dude, it was like Jaws.
Sorry.
That's
that bad.
awesome. Keep going. Sorry, Preston. What are you doing in Denver? Go ahead.
And then back. But we're going to the LNC meeting in Denver, and we're going to, talk to them about starting a committee about blockchain and just, how we can implement blockchain, how we can bring more people into the party that are in crypto, how we can say, crypto is a home for people that have the same ideals. Get people in from crypto that are early adopters that are. Sorry, guys.
I just caught it again. I saw Moses' face. He went,
I lock myself in the office instead of the kitchen.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Early adopters.
no, it makes this special.
Yeah. But so, early adopters who, have some money that may want to support some causes that we're for, get some of those people involved, bring in people that want to donate to help, spread the message of liberty here. And so we're flying out there. And coincidentally, it's on 420.
Whoa! If you're
flying.
them,
Hold
got
on a
'em.
minute. Time out. Preston, you're flying into Colorado with Mike Heiss on 420.
Yeah, Mike's like, hey, there's a big celebration going on. I was like, well,
Yeah,
we're getting there. We'll see what happens.
Is Jeff
there is-
going? Is Jeff
That-
still watching right now?
Jeff Douglas, is he joining you guys?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. On this trip. Jeff's a really cool dude. I want to tell you, like, I really enjoyed hanging out with him this past weekend. He and I are about the same age, and we have a lot of similar experiences.
Hey, look, we have to have Jeff on. We've been talking about this for a while. Jeff is fucking funny as shit. At the crypto party, dude, I could not stop laughing.
Yeah,
I
he's
could
funny.
not stop laughing. But it goes to show you. Hey, would you agree with the
Fourth, and
statement?
it's the same now. I mean, that project is there to move humanity forward and to make people free. And I think that a lot of people understand that, but a lot of people are a visionary. He sees things far ahead. He looks at the big picture. And what he said was, and I had a conversation with him, I said, it's not going to go move exponentially and have that many more people on the network and be able to work. I mean, when ICOs are out there, you can't get your coins through. I mean, you can't buy certain projects because you don't have enough. You have to pay like the maximum gas amount to send things. So I think it's 0.15 Ethereum that I have just in case I need to buy something, or I want to buy an ICO or something like that. But I think it's a valuable tech. I just don't agree with the ideals. I think that rolling back the blockchain was the wrong thing to do, and that is a principle that they violated. And so, from that point on, I had a tainted view of the project.
What? Oh, my mic.
Stop touching it.
I'm sorry. Speaking, he picked me
Wouldn't
up.
it make sense for Nexus to be the mothership of all, cryptos that follow?
like a good Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sure, absolutely. I hope it does. I hope that process plays out, and there is a demand for it. I mean, that's the thing. There's a demand for it. But the thing about Colin's going to he wants to do it the right way. He's going to approach it so that it's done properly. How that gets implemented or what the parameters are for that, I don't know. But I can tell you that before he puts out the architecture, it will be thought out and it'll be well thought out. and it won't bog the system down.
Yeah. Hey, is your screen still frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, wait till you watch the fucking video. Every time your dog snores, man.
Don't be sorry. It's the funniest thing.
It's making me cry.
She can't sleep in our bedroom. She wakes me up. I mean, it's bad. Like, it's absolutely horrible.
Is that?
I just feel so fucked up because we're talking about some good shit, you know what I'm saying? But every time I hear that fucking dog and like the fact that
We lost Doc. We're into overtime. This happens anyway. You all right? Finish your thought. Let's hear it. I wanted to hear where you were going. Do you have a Ron Paul family cookbook sitting there?
Yeah, I do.
We're gonna
This
plug
is
that.
the Ron Paul family cookbook. Everybody should get one. This is
Yeah,
Mrs. Carol.
Actually,
Carol
I didn't
Paul.
buy one of those. I didn't buy one of those during the 2012 campaign. I actually just bought some Ron Paul swag. I bought a couple hats.
Did you get that? You got that Ron Paul pull-out thing from us? Did we give you one of those?
Yeah.
Got it. It's going in my office when I get it finished.
Oh, that
Can't
thing's
wait.
great, man. I tried finding them. They don't make those no
I
more.
found a couple more in my basement when I was cleaning it out.
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
Really? 800 Bitcoin. You want a Ron Paul rollout banner. All right, Preston, we're in like quadruple overtime here. Your dog is in a REM sleep that I've never even fucking experienced in my life.